I'm rolling around as a ball. I'm cute. Oh my god. Oh my god! We're in the Matrix! Oh, not this again! Why? Did I get it? Yes! Oh, it's getting bigger. Roku keeps growing. Woo! Jesus Christ, why?
He has no egg, Tibbers.
I love Noed. Let's go. I forgot. What's Noed do again? Fuck off, Freddy! Oh my god! Ah!
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in to our first ever podcast. This is the Furry Content Creator Dogcast, episode number 1. Tibbers is the featured guest today. They will be joining us momentarily. This podcast is designed to uplift and spotlight furry content creators. Just a heads up. Audience interaction will be limited to around breaks and the Q&A section at the end of the stream. So if you're saying stuff in the chat, I'm sorry. We got to get through all this content on time. But you are noticed. You are loved. I thank you all. It is so good to see you. Thank you for being here. You guys are adorable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Is there a Tibbers on the other end?
Is there a Tibbers? Is that what you asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Tibbers.
All right. I just want to make sure before I do your little intro and we welcome you on. All right. My guests joining me today, they are a variety streamer, YouTuber, musician, singer, voice actor, and a gremlin with a passion for chaos. Let's have a chat with Tibbers on this episode of the Furry Content Creator Dogcast. Thanks so much for joining me.
Hi.
How's your evening, Tibbers?
Oh, you know, it's 8 p.m. There's thunderstorms about. I'm here with a friend. It's going good. And it's almost the weekend.
Almost the weekend indeed, and one more weekend until Furry Week in Atlanta for those that are uninformed. Le fouet?
Le fouet?
Le fouet?
If it was in France, le fouet?
Le fouet?
Le fouet?
Is there anything you want to get into before we start going through everything?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very nervous and excited and nervous and anxious, and I've never done this before, so this is brand new for me.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to do great. If anyone should be nervous, it's me, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Actually, take that back. That should make you nervous.
That doesn't make me nervous. You've never said anything off color around me.
Oh, I don't say things that are off color. I just things, just words.
just
words.
The
things that come out of my mouth.
They just erupt from the mouth hole.
They do.
Yes. Going in fine? Wait, I'm not supposed to be reading your messages. My streamer brain. My streamer brain! I'm already breaking.
If it's funny, say it. I think it's great.
Yeah. Going in fine, going out, wait, no, says Tigress. Oh my goodness. So guys, it is a privilege to have Tibbers on here. Tibbers is the one that inspired me to do a podcast with his own interview series on YouTube. Tibbers, feel free to link any of your socials in the chat whenever you feel like if it comes up like YouTube. You're a mod, so you should have permissions to drop them whenever.
I'm so lazy. I'm literally just going to send my website. All of my socials are there.
Yeah, there's where you can find Tibbers, y'all. That's where you can find Tibbers. All right, we're gonna get into some stuff, but guys, since Tibbers is a musician, we're gonna start off the podcast by putting on his mixtape in the background of stuff that's gonna come out soon on his YouTube, Spotify, and so on and so forth.
Yee.
So let me get that pulled up. We're gonna listen to Tibbers mixtape.
I'm so sorry. It's like 14 minutes long.
That's fine. That's fine. Do you let me
And
know
I
if
will-
it's too loud or vice versa, chat, and I will try to adjust.
Where's my mouse? There's my mouse.
Chat, let me see in the chat if it's loud enough or too loud, please. I was listening to this earlier, Tibbers. It sounds like the Poppy's theme mixed with Sweet Dreams, and I love it.
Yeah, it is. It is a cover of Sweet Dreams that I'm doing by the Eurythmics with the poppy theme mixed in. It's going to be called Sweet Dreams Are Made of Poppies. I'm really excited about it. It's almost done. There's a few things that's got to be finished plus vocals.
Gotcha. And Tibbers always has fun little animations that go with the video, fun little art pieces. So it's a visual experience as much as it is an audio experience. And to briefly answer your question, Tibbers is a singer and songwriter. That's the kind of musician that they are.
Yee.
Yeah.
I do original music. I write my own stuff, and I do a lot of covers too.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to dive right in here, Tibbers. Without further ado, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what kind of content you like to create, and on what platform, what games you like to play, what kind of music you like, about your identity, anything you'd like to and feel comfortable sharing.
Hi there, pal. Hi, everybody. I'm Tibbers. I am a content creator on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Like, just go look at my website. You'll see the stuff I post there. It's like, I basically try and keep the same stuff going around on all of them. But I focus a lot on indie horror, Poppy Playtime, which is like my comfort game. On YouTube, I do merch reviews, reaction videos, and deep dives into the world of horror gaming. I'm also, as Kibbles said, a musician, music producer, and singer. And music is a very big part of my life. When it comes to gaming, I gravitate towards multiplayer titles and anything in the indie horror space. I have a very eclectic taste in music, listen to everything from classical to EDM to country to opera. If it hits the soul, I'm into it. And then as far as my identity goes, I'm a non-binary masculine presenting. I use he, they pronouns. I don't care what you call me as long as you call me. And I'm openly gay and single. Yeah.
You heard him, chat. Tibbers is single. Who wants to take Tibbers on a date right now? I'm sorry, Tibbers.
You're funny.
And behind door number 1, there's Tibbers. He'll write you a love song.
I will. I'll write you a love song about waffles.
You mentioned that you're very much into the indie horror game space. So what are your top 3 favorite indie horror games, and why do you think indie horror games became such a huge focus for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so my top 3 indie horror games, obviously, if you know me, Poppy Playtime, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and Bendy the Dark Revival. Dark Revival is my favorite out of the two. And then, of course, I mean, you can't go wrong with Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I love Security Breach. And of course, it's the only FNAF game that I have. I take the back. It's not the only, but it is like out of the series that's not like a spinoff made by somebody else. It's the only FNAF game that I fully played, plus the DLC. But I have played Into the Pit, which is also really, really good. But like what draws me to these titles is like a strong combination of nostalgia and their use of mascot-based horror. I mean, if we look at where the furry scene started back in the day when everyone was starting making their own fursuits and whatnot, they were very reminiscent of mascot costumes. So like there's something about that kind of ties into the furry community. And that's why I also like am doing this panel that I've already done at TFF and you were there for it, Kibbles. I'm doing it at Flaw about mascot horror and how it relates to the furry community and why we love it so much. But like, yeah, there's something eerie and oddly comforting about characters that look like huggable plush toys turning into nightmare fuel. They hit that sweet spot between cute and creepy, and I love that. On top of that, the storytelling in these games, it's like super incredibly fresh and immersive. And Poppy Playtime especially, it stands out to me with its unique grab pack mechanics and puzzle design, which always keeps me engaged. Plus the story is just, it's so good.
Do you have a favorite plush of any of these characters?
These plushes might attack me for this one, but I do have a new favorite soft spot for the Yarnaby plush that came out. I love it so much, but it's a close tie between the Jumbo Huggy Wuggy that I have because it's just so soft and huggable.
I've seen you carrying that giant Huggy Wuggy around, and I've seen you get some looks with that one. Some kids have been terrified. Some kids have been like, "Oh my god!" You ever get that when you're carrying around your Huggy Wuggy?
So what I do, most people don't realize this, is that even indoors when I'm at a con, I usually have my contacts in because I wear glasses when I don't have those in. I'll wear sunglasses on top of it because I don't like people looking in my eyes. It's part of my being autistic and whatnot. I don't know, it bothers me. So, and also makes me feel a little bit more comfy walking around and being around people if I feel like I'm kind of like I have sunglasses on, because I don't know, I feel like it kind of disconnects me, so I don't look at what people are how they're reacting to the things that I'm doing or carrying around in public spaces. I just, it's better for me if I don't pay attention, because then if I do pay attention, then I'm gonna get self-conscious.
Oh, that's fair. 1 second, I gotta like break some things real quick so I'm not twerking in your face like just now when I get a sub.
I saw that. I was gonna comment, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let you dance.
I am so sorry about that. 1 second, y'all. Hold. Oh, I love this new version of Sleep While You've Got coming out. It's playing right now.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish this.
Of course, I love your original as well. I felt like it extended on the original in quite a fun way.
Mm-hmm. And I tried to bring that to this new version too, because you'll notice here that I actually repeat the chorus a second time just to extend it a little bit, because I'm like, I want to give like a little nod to that version that I did too.
Mm-hmm. All right, and that should be fixed. All right. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. When I sent you these questions, you mentioned that Poppy Playtime has become your favorite, your comfort game, the one game you always go back to. What is it about Poppy Playtime specifically that makes it that one game for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. So like, it comes down to the atmosphere, the characters, puzzles, and like the overall gameplay. The mechanics like the grab pack make every puzzle satisfying to solve, and there's something really calming about playing through each chapter, even when it's spooky. I don't know what it is, but it just like if I'm having a stressful day and I need to de-stress it before I explode, I will sit down and turn on Poppy Playtime because it just calms my ass down. It helps me unwind, especially when I'm stressed. I find joy in speedrunning it as well, discovering new secrets that because no matter what, whenever I play the games again, I always find something, and I just like losing myself in the environment. It gives my brain something to chew on in the best way.
What? Wrong button. So, is there a favorite Easter egg that you've come across recently that you haven't seen in your previous playthroughs? You said you're always seeing something new each run that you play.
Ooh. Chapter 4, I haven't found anything recent. I will say I think it was chapter 2. I recently discovered something and I sent it over to Amber, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. But it actually was chapter 2 when I found something and I was like, hey, what is this? And I'm like, I never noticed it before. But I think one Easter egg that I can say has been kind of consistent. There's this random sticker that they put in the game of like a husky, or it's not a husky. It's either a husky or it might be a Shiba. I'm not really sure what it is, but we have been trying to figure out what it is and no one can figure it out, but it's some type of Easter egg.
You gotta send me that. I haven't seen it. I know there's another Easter egg that you always seek to find in every game, and that's Limon. It's like a lemon with eyes, right?
Yeah, lemon. It's a little lemon with eyes, yeah.
And so far, you found him in every game, right? Every game that he's in.
I will be honest when I say I don't think I have found him in chapter 3. I don't know if they put him in chapter 3, and if they did, I don't know where he's at. So I'll have to follow up on that one. But yes, I know where he's at in chapter 1, chapter 2, and in chapter 4.
Speaking of Poppy Playtime, you are partnered with the studio that makes these games, Mob Entertainment, as am I, the studio behind the Poppy Playtime games. What has that been like for you? Do you have any advice for others who might be interested in similar opportunities with game studios and such?
Yeah, so like being part of Mob, the partner program, has genuinely changed my life. I was inspired to apply right after seeing you and others get involved, and when I was finally accepted as we were driving, I think we were either driving to or from MFF, everything like started to fall into place at that point. I've been able to collaborate with amazing people. I've met some of my voice acting heroes like Michael Kovac and Sean Chiplock, Elsie Lovelock. Like, these are all people that I look up to. Baldwin Williams Jr., who plays the doctor in Poppy. Like, these are all people that I look up to. They're phenomenal voice actors, especially Sean. Sean's one of my top favorites, and just like getting to meet him at TFF was just it was so great. But I like also like reconnecting with the music that's in these games, and the music that that I have been able to start writing myself, like being inspired by nerdcore and finding out what nerdcore is through the Mob Entertainment program. And of course, finding a stronger voice as a creator. Like, if you're looking to get into a partner program, make content that shows your passion. Be active, consistent, and creative. That's how you get noticed.
You mentioned music there briefly. I want to say that one of the biggest reasons that FNAF exploded into the behemoth that is today is because of the fan-made music that was put out around that game. Do you think that had a similar impact on you?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I will say that until chapter 3 of Poppy, I didn't know of nerdcore, and it was CG5's song Sleep Well that kind of opened my eyes to that. And then I started like looking into nerdcore, what it is and what songs were out there and what people made, and like they make it for a lot of different subjects. It doesn't have to necessarily be about a game. They write, like, I see nerdcore artists writing about movies and books and TV shows, and that's what it is. It's us nerds writing music about the stuff that we love, that specifically are usually IP properties as well. And I think that's kind of beautiful because we're also showing our love for these IPs that we love so much. Like there are so many IPs that I love that I would love to write songs for, but I also have found a lot of IPs that I enjoy that I'm like, ooh, this song that this other artist did actually would really fit in with this, what they've got going on. So sometimes I'll, like, for example, the Sweet Dreams cover that I'm working on, I'm mixing it in with Poppy because I'm like, oh, it goes very well with the story. Sleep well, catnap in the red smoke, and putting people to sleep, having nightmares. Like, I was like, that would be really cool to like actually have as a cover that's part of Poppy Playtime. So let me listen to it. And then I realized, oh, hey, the theme for Poppy itself fits perfectly within this song. I'm going to add Poppy's Lullaby. Plus, not even that, I added the theme to Project Playtime in there as well. You don't hear it in this clip that I've got you playing for you, but there is a whole separate section that plays the Project Playtime theme.
Oh, I'm going to have to hear that when it comes out. Now that you're big time into like making your own songs and stuff, is there anything from your childhood that if you had the chance, you'd go back and make a song dedicated
I already have.
Oh.
Yeah, so I love one of my favorite movies, and I'm actually so excited that it was portrayed in Stranger Things 3, was The Neverending Story. So if you actually listen to this track that's playing in there towards the end, I have a cover of The Neverending Story that I'm working on. It does have the original vocals in there because I'm trying to make sure the timing's right. And I left those in just so people could hear. But that all that instrumental that you hear in the background, that's all new instrumental that was done by me. So like that's one that I'm really excited about. There's some other IPs from my childhood, like Digimon and a few other different things that I would like to sit down and write some music for. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I haven't seen Neverending Story in a few decades. I need to look at it again with fresh eyes.
Yeah. I always recommend it. The second one's not good in my opinion, but I do enjoy the third one. The third one actually has Jack Black in it as a villain.
Oh, does it really? I didn't know that.
It does. And I remember watching it as a kid and like, you know, hold on, when did it come out? I actually need to know when it comes out because this will make so much more sense to say.
Feel free to look it up if you'd like.
I can't spell. Not 34. This movie came out in 1996. So I was maybe around 6 or 7 years old at that point. And I remember watching it and being like kind of captivated by Jack Black's performance, and that was what inspired me to start following him as an actor as well. Plus, in my opinion, watching it back, I'm like, oh, he's kind of cute in this movie.
I'll have to check that out. Jack Black also does music. Would you say any of that has inspired you?
Oh, absolutely. He's a phenomenal music artist. I've listened to a lot of his stuff, not just with his band, but like other stuff that he's done. I mean, it seems like every movie he's done, he's somehow incorporating music into it, which I love. But it's really cool. Like Tenacious D, great stuff going on there. Then you watch the Minecraft movie and you've got the chicken song, or you look at the Mario movie and what he wrote for Peaches. Like it's great.
Yeah. I think my favorite piece of his is the tribute one. This is not that song. This is just a tribute. You know the one.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know the title of it.
I think he did a really good job on the Britney Spears cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time. It was so good.
Oh, that's so good too. I know I might be jumping ahead a little bit and going off script here, but are there any other artists you would say inspire you to do what you do with music?
Oh yeah, not just looking at nerdcore when I'm looking at music artists overall. Like I kind of like when I mean, obviously I do like a lot of EDM stuff, but there are inspirations from a lot of different music artists from different genres that kind of like inspire me with what I'm writing. I love Mozart, really love Mozart, and I I always tried to find a way to incorporate strings or some type of classical element into a song. Um, I like I really love one of my favorite bands is Evanescence. I love Amy Lee. She's a phenomenal writer, and the music that she writes not only is it like kind of haunting and has like this really operatic but rock background to it. She also is like me and likes to incorporate a lot of classical elements, so that inspires me. I love a lot of 80s songs, so a lot of 80s synths and a lot of 80s riffs inspire me with the EDM stuff that I like writing. I'm inspired a lot by Alan Walker, who does a lot of modern EDM stuff. Kim Petras, she's phenomenal trans music artist. She has inspired me with a few of her different songs to look at things from a different perspective. Sia, I love Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa's put some good stuff out there. Shoot. Oh, what's her name? Shit. I just forgot her name. She sings "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." Shania Twain.
Shania Twain,
Fucking love
yeah.
Shania Twain.
I love
Shania
that song.
Twain.
It's my favorite song of hers.
Love Shania Twain. Love Lamal. Love Eurythmics. Love a lot of classic. Like everything that I listen to. There's sometimes I'll be listening to a song, and it's hard for me to explain this, but the best way to put it is I'll be listening to something, and or maybe it's something that I've written that I'm working on, and like I'll just hear something in my head as I'm listening to the song that I'm like, ooh, this would be a really cool element for me to add, and then I'm realizing, oh, this is an element from another song that Christina Aguilera wrote, because there's something in there that just sounds really good that would fit this kind of style. So I try and incorporate some type of effect or synth that sounds similar to add that in.
It's amazing how connected all music is, like from chords down to like specific beats. It's really impressive. And
really
being able to
is.
see that is really cool. I admire that in you.
Yeah. The one thing I'm proud of myself when it comes to music is I can, I've been told I have perfect pitch, which is nice. I can hear a note and just know what it is. But what I love is hearing a song for the first time. And then if I'm near a piano, I can sit down and just play it back for you. I don't need sheet music. I don't need nothing. I just know it. Like it's something my mom noticed when I was a kid. She gave me a little toy piano. She heard me, like I was listening to the radio and just immediately start playing it back. She's like, okay, there's something here. And that's why she started getting me through voice lessons and piano lessons and whatnot.
Oh, that's really cool. Have you ever considered like doing a music stream like that where you're playing stuff from memory on the piano?
I have thought about that. And the reason why I haven't done it yet is previously because of my old PC setup, it wouldn't really support it. But I think this new setup that I've got will. But I just need to figure all the technical aspects of it out first. But yeah, it is something that I wouldn't mind doing. I thought about doing a karaoke stream at some point too, but that hasn't happened yet.
That's fair. That's fair. You're a smart cookie. You'll figure it out. I think I should get back on track. I keep going on tangents. I do apologize. It's just hearing from a musician and being able to talk with somebody I consider a great friend. It's very easy to flow into these conversations with you. So thank you.
No problem. No problem.
All right. You are active on both Twitch and YouTube, both two very different beasts from one another. I don't entirely understand how to do what you do on YouTube myself. Do you have any advice for any Twitch streamers interested in creating content on YouTube alongside their live stream content? What do you wish you would have known at the start that you know now?
The first thing I could honestly like say, know your audience and figure out your niche. Like, make your content interesting. Use eye-catching thumbnails, good hashtags, and make sure your title and description are on point. The biggest tip, just start. Making YouTube content is a lot of work. Editing thumbnails, uploading, scheduling, but in the end, it's all worth it. Like once it all finishes exporting and I've got it uploaded and I've finished writing the description, putting all the stuff in, which takes time, and saving it and scheduling it, like I just feel really accomplished at the end. Even if someone doesn't like it, you know, I feel like, oh, I put all this effort and time into this. I feel proud about it. So that's why I think it's worth it. I avoid personally doing Let's Plays on YouTube anymore. And what I mean by that is that I don't specifically record offline me playing a game and then editing that game like Markiplier and uploading that game in different parts for people to watch. And the reason why I avoid them now is that unless you're Markiplier, unless you're Jacksepticeye, unless you're one of these really big creators on YouTube who make Let's Plays, it is very, very hard to get your content amongst those really, really big creators. It's very hard to get your Let's Plays seen. I find that you have more success doing a live Let's Play, so streaming it on YouTube or Twitch, and then if you want to like make a clip reel of funny stuff that happened, that's great. But I would avoid it. It's just you're not going to get a lot of views there, and it's not going to put you in the algorithm because there's already so many established content creators whose people are watching their content. They normally don't look once they watch Markiplier play Poppy Playtime, they're not going to want to look for Tibbers to watch Tibbers play Poppy Playtime unless they're already following for some reason. Like random person's not going to do it. So instead, make short clips or highlight reels. Funny or intense moments do really well as YouTube Shorts or TikToks. Once you grow, you can think about longer videos, but at first, like, keep it punchy. One thing I wish I did know earlier is how much time all this takes. Editing a single long form video can eat up multiple days, not to mention your uploading time, your exporting time, writing descriptions, writing a script, depending on what type of video you're making. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So time management, you really have to work on your time management skills. And that is something I wish I knew earlier and I had done a little bit better when I started. Now I feel like I've gotten into a really good rhythm and I kind of like pace myself. Like, I try and do one video a week, so I know that I got to start editing it on Sunday and Monday, try and have it wrapped up by Tuesday, so Wednesday I can get it uploaded and finish the thumbnail and then get it scheduled so I can have the release on Friday.
Gotcha. You say that gaming is pretty like saturated on YouTube. Do you find it similar on Twitch?
Not really. And the reason why is the saturation when it comes to YouTube is more of pre-recorded videos that have been edited and uploaded. When it comes to Twitch and just even live streaming on YouTube, I don't feel like it's oversaturated from that fact. I mean, everyone's on here either streaming, DJing or playing games or whatever they're using Twitch or YouTube for to stream with. But it comes back to like, oh gosh, sorry, I completely just lost my train of thought because I got a text message. I forgot to take my ADHD meds again. Can you repeat the end of the question for me?
I was just asking if Twitch was as saturated as YouTube, and you were covering that. You had said that it's not as oversaturated as on YouTube, and then that's when you lost your train of thought.
Yeah. So the reason why it's not oversaturated on Twitch and YouTube when it comes to live streaming specifically is that people are constantly hopping from stream to stream watching people play games. Like, I'll look at the Poppy Playtime tag just to see who all's playing it and then pop into streams, randomly say hi, let them know I'm a partner and ask them how they're enjoying the game. And I'll do that a few times. I'll just pop into random different streams, but I also don't do it just for Poppy. I'm looking at tags. I'm looking at the furry tag. I'm looking for other new furry content creators to be friends with. Like, that's what I think is great about Twitch and YouTube Live is that you have the ability to, find new creators, but you also have the ability to see how they interact with their audiences and determine, hey, I want to follow this person because they actually make some content live that's really funny or really good. I think you find a lot of really good creators that way because not everybody who makes YouTube videos stream, but not everybody who streams makes YouTube videos. So there is a little bit of divide there sometimes.
That's really cool. That they can both be so different and yet there's some overlap that's really neat.
Yeah.
Let's get into time management as you put it. You work during the day, create content on both Twitch and YouTube, and write, record, and edit your own music. How do you balance it all? And do you ever struggle to find the energy to hit the go live or record button?
Ooh, good question. So let me tell you what my normal schedule looks like, and I'm gonna start from a Saturday perspective. So Saturdays, I'll spend my day doing whatever I need to do earlier in the day, and then that evening I'll live stream on Twitch. Sunday through Tuesday, I reserve those before streaming. I reserve that time for editing videos, and then if I need to, if I'm like really crunched for time after I'm done streaming, I'll do some more work. Wednesdays for me are my thumbnails and scheduling days for any of my content that usually is coming on Friday. Thursdays I'll spend for promoting videos on YouTube, and then Fridays are my video releases, usually often with live premiere chat, so I'm usually in there too, talking with the audience as the video's premiering. And then weekend, sometimes I do some short form video planning, recording music or voiceovers. It just depends on what I've got going on that week and what I have to prioritize. But then when it comes to streaming, I live stream on Twitch Monday through Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I usually go for 3 to 4 hours. I have Thursday on there, but because I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, I'm kind of stretching myself a little bit too thin right now. I've taken that off so I can have that as like a free day to catch up on anything that I might need to catch up on, and get it out there basically. So some voice or music work that I do will get done during my lunch breaks or when I have quiet work hours, or I've gotten my work done for that day, my main job. I've gotten what I can done, that I know is not going to hurt me really bad if I stop doing what I'm doing and give some time for a project. I schedule out everything a month in advance and ask folks to give me like hard dates and times if they want to collab. And the reason why I do that is that it's easier for someone to tell me, hey, I would like to play games with you on Thursday, March 2027 on the 16th now, than it is for someone to come to me the day of if I already have something planned. And it's easier for me to put you in my schedule so I know that date I've got something planned. We're doing a collab. This is what's happening, and it won't interfere with anything that I've got going on. So that's why I'm really big on people being like, hey, if you want to play games, please, I need you to come ask me so I can put it in my schedule, because there are times where I'm not going to be able to. So I don't like doing the whole vague, we should collab sometime combo. Just give me a day and I will pencil it in. I'll make it happen. But do I struggle to hit the go live button all the time? This work is exhausting. My real job is exhausting. But I'd love to do this full time, but it's just not financially possible right now. There are, as Sean Chiplock and I were discussing at TFF, there are some people who are voice actors who become very successful and they're able to do that full time, and they don't have to have a part-time or full-time job on the side to support themselves. But that's not the case for everybody. There are a lot of voice actors and creators like me who require having a full-time job to support myself to be able to do this. One day, if that changes, my fortune changes and I'm able to do this full time, I absolutely would love to do that, because being able to dedicate more time to creating content, to writing music, to doing more voice actor voice auditions, it would be great, because I love that stuff. So yeah, it's just not possible right now, but still, I'm up. If I'm not up for it, for streaming, I'll cancel, reschedule, because self-care, you always need to remember this, self-care always comes first. If you are not feeling good that day, or if you were stretched too thin, do not feel bad for having to cancel your stream. You need to take care of yourself.
Thank you for that answer. And briefly there, you mentioned the possibility of burnout from stretching yourself too thin. Do you have any tips to avoid burnout?
For me, when I'm feeling burnt out, it's hard to avoid, because the thing is that you get into a routine, you start following that routine, and then you get into kind of as I just said, don't feel bad for canceling stream. But once you like, if you're a creator just starting out, sometimes you feel really guilty for doing it because you want to make sure that you're building your community. You want to be a content creator that's reliable, and you're going to be streaming on your scheduled days that you said you're going to be streaming. So I think, yeah, it's the burnout is real. But you got to take the self-care time, and to combat the burnout, find other things to do that's not what you're doing at that time. Like if you were doing a lot of video editing, stop video editing, work on something else. If you need to de-stress by playing Poppy Playtime, de-stress by playing Poppy Playtime. Take a whole week to do something that is completely different from your normal routine to get you out of that burnout. Sometimes it might take a week or two, but you will get yourself out of it. For me, the best remedy for burnout is honestly taking a vacation. So like going to conventions. I'll it's time off away from the computer. I'm not sitting at this computer nonstop. I'm not playing games. I'm not worrying about anything. I'm spending time with friends. I'm relaxing, but I'm also networking and like letting people know, hey, I'm a content creator. So when they get home, they can come watch me. But once I'm home, once I've had this experience, once I feel fulfilled on everything, I get home and I kind of like, yeah, I'm ready to make more stuff. So I dive right back into it, and I'll usually keep going good, maybe 3 to 4 months before I start feeling a burnout again.
I know that it's been rough for me since I started streaming, because this algorithm on Twitch, it punishes you if you're not consistent. So it's easy to feel guilty and to feel like you're gonna slip if you take a break. But it's important to remember that your health and your mental well-being comes before anything on Twitch. Like, you might have a little setback. The algorithm might not like that you took a break, but you got to take that break because you are more important.
That part, very important. You are important. I wish the algorithm didn't behave the way that it does sometimes, but it's just the way that it is.
I do wish it make it a little less aggressive on people that can't, like, stream as consistently as other people, but it's an evolving thing. Who knows? Maybe they'll make some changes that punish people less for taking breaks. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I want them to also figure out ways to make it easier for people to become partner, because like Kibbles, you and I have been doing this for a long time, and while being a partner is not like my goal right now, like someday if it happens, cool. I feel like you especially, you put a lot of time in, longer than I have, because you were streaming and I was watching you before I started streaming. And I think that Twitch needs to start evaluating these content creators who have been streaming on their platform, who have not gotten partner like at least 3 to 4 years, and being like, hey, we've got to figure out a way to get these people out of affiliate, because that should be the goal. Is all right, you hit affiliate, now you've got to work for partner, but they've made partner so difficult to get. And I won't lie, y'all, it sometimes hurts when you see other people that out in the community who don't stream, but then they start streaming, but because they're popular and they immediately get partner within a month. It's not something I'm jealous over. It just doesn't feel fair, because I've been trying to put the work in too. So I don't know what they've done different that I'm not doing to, get it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Never jealous. Like, it's just more of, it's something I wish I've been working. I worked hard for. I've been trying to work hard for, and right now, while it's not a focus, it used to be a high focus for me, and while right now it's not. It's something that I still do want in the end. I don't need it, but it would be nice to be like, hey, here's a check mark just to tell you, hey, you've done a good job. You've gotten this far. Congratulations. Like, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that reassurance.
Yeah, there are technical reasons why they can't make it easier, and it's because of the guaranteed on-coding. But if they were like to offer an option not to take the guaranteed on-coding, I would absolutely take that in a heartbeat, just to make that next step, because I don't need the guaranteed on-coding. I'm not streaming from the top of the line PC that needs like 4K 60 or anything like that.
I don't need that shit either.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, who knows?
It's like,
Their policies are always evolving with this stuff, especially with the changing of the management. So maybe changes are coming soon. You never know.
I, it baffled my mind that I became a YouTube partner within a few months. And I have been streaming on Twitch longer. Like, I was like, this is insane. And getting YouTube partner is it's difficult. Like it is, but once you put the work in and once you've got the hours in, because that's the real thing, is making sure that you get the watch hours in, you're set. That's all you need. Like, but Twitch's requirements, I think, are a little bit too strict.
Yeah. How did you feel when you got YouTube partner, by the way?
Oh my god. It was, you know what, like, it felt like getting Twitch partner. It really did. It like, you know, I put the work in, and to get that reward of being, hey, you've done this, you are now a partner with us. It felt really good. It felt like, I don't know, it's like growing up and being in school, and you know, at the end of the year they sometimes do like school rewards, and here's a reward for having best attendance this year. Like, I didn't get a lot of those. I don't have a lot of awards, so getting something like that, it means a lot to me. Like, in one day, if I ever get 100K subscribers and get that plaque, I'll probably cry over it. I know I will.
You have to do an unboxing video for that for sure.
I will have to, and I will cry. I will cry again on camera on national TV for you.
Speaking briefly on YouTube, what would you say is your breakout video? The one moment that you know, everything else fell into place after.
That's such a good question, because it's the saddest video that I've got up on YouTube. It's so funny. So I mean, we're both partnered with Mob. You obviously that we have certain, I can't go into them, but we have certain perks that we get being partnered with Mob. And one of those perks was they give us early access to certain things. And you and I got access to CG5's song Sleep Well early, so we could hear it, and if we wanted to make something on it, we could. And I remember being really excited. I was at the gym. I'm like, I can't wait to get home. This song is going to be so good. I'm really excited about this, because they had teased the song already in the game itself, because the song came out a few weeks after the game had come out. So I was excited. I've been trying to, like, the little clip had just been playing in my head nonstop, and I was like trying to figure out what the lyrics were and all this fun stuff. And then finally, when we got the video and I sat down and recorded it, I just had a complete mental breakdown in the video. You just see me break, because the song was so emotionally touching and beautifully written that it just caused something to snap in me, and I cried. I cried. The original video is much longer and much sadder, because it's just, when I watched the unedited version that I recorded, there's a good 10 minutes of me just ugly Kim Kardashian crying over this freaking song. So after I recorded and sat there and edited everything, I was like, do I really want to upload the bits of me crying to this song? Do I want to be that vulnerable on the internet? Do I potentially want to open myself up to harassment and bullying for letting my emotions show as a masculine identifying individual from my appearance? Like, that's going to obviously, you know, get people be like, you're just a weak person or whatever, negative comments. And I was worried about that, and I was like, you know what, I would rather be authentic myself and actually express how I feel and show how this song made me feel than lie and just be like, oh, it's a great song. Like, I wanted to give them the full thing. So I posted it and then went to bed. I posted it on Thursday night at midnight, went to bed, woke up, it had gotten quite a few views. And I was like, okay, this is cool. This is neat. And then the next day rolls around, it's Saturday, and it's up to like 30K views at that point. And I start panicking. So I'm like, oh, this is going into viral territory. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, because this is like, you know, one of my first few videos that I'm making for YouTube. Like I had made a few before this one, and then I made this one, and it just all of a sudden exploded. And I'm like, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what was going to happen. And unfortunately, yeah, there were quite a few negative comments that were posted on that video. But I didn't let that get to me, because at the same time, I'd rather people know that, hey, this song means something to me than just blowing it off, being like, oh, it was a good song. Like this song means something to me, and you can see it in my emotions. You can see it in the way that I'm crying. So having that video explode in the beginning of my YouTube career, I felt was like, okay, maybe I've got something here. Maybe I'm not going to be just another boring content creator. Maybe people actually will like some of the stuff that I want to do.
It's really difficult to be vulnerable. It's such a public space. So you being able to own that and bypass those fears of being judged for being vulnerable, that's incredible. And I will let you know that watching your reaction made me cry. So thank you for making me cry, Tibbers.
It's so funny because Amber and I will start giving, like, I remember she was having a rough day, I was having a rough day, and we just started giving each other compliments just to cheer each other up. And I was explaining to how much I admire her, and how thankful I am to have her as a friend. Because when I first met Amber, I didn't think that we were going to be friends. I was like, this is a super talented artist, is part of Mob. I'm probably never going to really get to talk to them except through these podcasts that they do in their Discord channel. We clicked immediately, and she has been a very positive influence in my life, and I'm so thankful to have her as a friend. But we'll start doing these, like, telling each other how proud we are or whatever, and we both just start crying. We make each other cry.
Cry train.
Basically, that's what happens.
Amber is amazing, yes. And she's such a goof. Such a goof.
She is.
Just like
a good
Tibbers.
goof.
Let's
so
get back
similar,
into
too. It's
your...
crazy.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to
I was just saying,
interrupt you.
Amber and I have a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys kind of go hand in hand. Let's get into music again. I know we bounced around this earlier, but if you had to name just 3 songs that inspire you or have inspired your music career, what are they? And what impact do you think these songs have had on you?
Ooh, good question. So I'm gonna I will say I love music so much, and I have 3 songs written here that do mean a lot to me. But if I could mention, if I had more than 3, I would, trust me, I would be able to easily write down a top of 100 songs that have inspired my career. But I would say the top 3 that I feel like really have inspired me are Faded by Alan Walker, Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. I remember growing up and seeing infomercials for 80s mixed CDs on TV, and seeing a clip of the Eurythmics song playing on television, and just that song getting stuck in my head and just singing it so much. And like, it really inspired me to get more into synth music as well. Like I really started learning more about that, especially in middle school. And I love Mozart's Requiem Mass. It's one of the most beautiful classical pieces that I've heard. So like, if I'm feeling a certain way, I will listen to that, and it usually makes me feel better or just relaxes me. But they're like, those are like 3 songs that inspired different sides of my music, from like emotional synth to like haunting classical layers. I often like sneak subtle references into my own tracks through chord structure and melodic motifs with these types of songs, especially classical, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, if there's 2 other songs though that I can mention that I feel are very important to me. Adele's Someone Like You got me through a very dark time in my life, so that song means a lot to me, and it's one that I can immediately heard and instantly played on the piano. And it's funny, I've got like one video of me playing it at a Guitar Center on a piano, and there's another one where I'm at a charity event, I think, and I'm like dressed up in leather and sitting at a piano and playing it, and all these people are singing along. It was really cool. But that song, and then Sia has a song, Elastic Heart is another song that like really hits home, that I feel also helped really inspire me. I really love that song. I think it's a really good one. I will say I prefer her piano version of the song than I do the actual like radio version. The piano version goes a little bit faster and it sounds a little bit better in my opinion than the actual like one that you can just go listen to on Spotify.
Gotcha. If you were invited to do a collab on any of those songs you just mentioned with the artist, like in your dream scenario, which one, only one, would you do?
Ooh, that's a tough question because let me ask you this. Is this going to be like a recorded version, or is this going to be like, oh, I'm going to be pulled up on stage and have to sing it live with them?
Let's say pulled up on stage.
Okay, that one's easy. Adele, Someone Like You. It is always like, if I had ever could be in the opportunity to be in front of Adele and she like, hey, come sing this song with me, and I just sing those harmony parts with her, I would feel so fulfilled. And just getting the opportunity to be like, hey, I know that you went through a very dark time and that's why this song came to be, but I want you to know that because of your love for music and the love that this person gave to you, this was a song that you wrote that helped me get through a very, very dark time. Basically, I'd be like, Adele, you kind of saved my life.
Aww.
So getting that opportunity to tell her that would be amazing.
Oh, that's so sweet. Let's go specifically to your music now. Of the songs you have released so far, which one is your favorite? Which one was the most challenging? And which one would you like to do a new version of if given the chance?
I have to give one specific song the favorite and revisited, and the reason why, it's original. It's my most personal original track, and then also at the same time, it's like my first track I released. So really, so like I wouldn't mind where I am now musically and what all I've learned since I made that song. I would not mind going back and remastering the vocals or recording new vocals now that my mixing skills are a lot stronger. So I would say my song Fragmented Echoes, which is an original Indigo Park song that I wrote. But my most challenging so far has been my new cover of Sleep Well that I wrote. There's so much instrumentation inside of that track. It has been so tough to recreate in a way that honors the original while making it feel like my own. So it has been the most long and arduous process working on that song, but I got it. At least the instrumentation's done. Vocals are still being worked on.
Exciting. Can't wait to hear that version. You might hear that version if you're listening in the background of this podcast. We are listening to a mixtape of songs that are upcoming from Tibbers.
Yeah.
What types of software do you use to produce your music content? And do you have any tips for anyone looking to produce their own music?
Yeah. So, you're going to refer to me, you're going to hear me refer to these programs as DAWs. That stands for digital audio workstations. And I have 3 of them that are my primary that I use on my computer. So FL Studio is my main digital audio workstation. Pro Tools is my secondary, and Logic Pro is my third. If I'm on the go and all I have is my phone or my iPad with me, GarageBand is a free digital audio workstation provided by Apple on their Mac OS and iOS devices that you can download. It is a great tool that you can use to quickly put something down that you just had like an idea for and revisit it later when you're home. So I use those a lot. And as I mentioned with GarageBand, if you're just starting out, it's great for learning because it has a lot of the same aspects that you're going to be using when it comes to the other 3 tools that I use, like FL Studio and whatnot. There's a piano roll. There's a way to actually write your notes in there. Like, it comes with a lot of cool arty and stuff, like pre-installed VSTs and effects that you can use. So it's a good way to start for learning. A USB interface like the Focusrite Scarlett is a solid investment when it comes to vocals. Why I recommend it, and a lot of people are like, well, I don't record vocals. So I'm like, well, if you don't record vocals, like if you're a content creator, go ahead and get this anyway, because it's really great. It comes with a lot of free digital audio workstations like Ableton Live or Pro Tools, and they refresh the free software that comes with this device often, and all you have to do is log into your account and go see what all they're offering. And like, it's really name brand expensive stuff that you can get for free from spending $100 for an audio interface. So my advice, at the end of the day, get these things, practice with them, watch tutorials on YouTube. Seriously, it will save your life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wrong button. Ah! We're going to shift gears now to your voice acting career, because Tibbers is a voice actor. Can you tell us a bit about your voice acting career? Is there anything you can share about your role in the upcoming indie horror game Whispering Death, or any future projects? Like, just slight mentions, nothing that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, so voice acting has been something that I have been doing since I was a kid. And what I mean by that is I have been learning to be a voice actor since I was a kid, because I remember just watching cartoons and mimicking voices. Hold on one second. I need a drink of water really bad. I remember seeing Lilo and Stitch for the first time and hearing Stitch's voice, and immediately trying to learn how to do it. And it's a little bit higher, but it's all in the back of the throat. A lot of practice too, but you can easily switch into Stitch and be like, shit, what's one of his lines? Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind. But then you can take that same voice and I could turn it into Gilmon from Digimon, where he's like, Gilmon, Potato Man. And then that same type of throating can turn into Gollum from Lord of the Rings, where I'm just like, stupid bad habits is Gollum. Like, all you got to do is practice with it, and obviously I wasn't prepared to do that, so it's not in the best range that it should be right now. But yeah,
are you kidding? That's incredible.
I love doing voices, so I've actually been trying to learn how to do Hiccup's voice from How to Train Your Dragon. And the best way for me to learn how to do a voice is I'll listen to their voices and I'll pick a phrase that they say that'll get me into the character. So for him, I think my favorite thing from the first movie was when he looks at his dad and he's like, you just gestured to all of me. So that turns into, you just gestured to all of me, Dad. And it's all about how you position your tongue to get that sound, because he does have it comes out kind of throaty, but it also comes out a little bit like whistly when he talks sometimes. So I'm still trying to get that down. But you'll just hear me walking around the house going, you just gestured to all of me, Dad. Doing that kind of stuff so I can learn these characters. But I've been doing that since I was a kid. I used to watch the Angry Beavers and Sabrina, and hearing I can't remember his last name, but Nick is his first name. He voices Salem, and I think it's Daggett, or it's Norbert. No, it's Norbert in Angry Beavers. And you'll sometimes hear me on stream going, no, because that's what he does. That's another like stem that I picked up from him when he's Salem. He's like, no, he just has this certain way of how he does his voice, and I'll do these types of voices, and that's what really got me into it. And I just always knew that I wanted to be a little bit of a ham, and I wanted to act since little. And you know, I did theater in middle school and in college, in high school, and then musical theater was my original major in college. So like voice acting or acting in general has been like a super lifelong dream for me. I've been acting since school and always loved doing voices. I got my start when for voice acting specifically, when someone came to my Twitch stream and offered me an audition, and like the rest was history. I've been in so far 3 anime productions. I've recorded 2 more for background characters that I'm playing, and technically have been given two official roles in one of those shows where I'm labeled as a bar patron and an office worker, which is different from, if you look at it on my IMDb, it'll say Walla, which normally means, hey, this is someone who you'll probably hear in the background as someone's eating in a restaurant, or they're outside or at a park, whatever. Like that's what that means. But like, been doing that. I've got more auditions out there, of course, and different projects that I'm working on. But regarding Whispering Death, I can't say much about it because of the non-disclosure agreement. But what I have recorded so far has been really intriguing, and I'm curious as the fans to see how it all comes together. One thing I will say is that I recently posted a video today of kind of like a found footage Poppy Playtime thing, and I used one of my cut lines from Whispering Death in there. So you'll be able to hear one of those lines in that video.
Gotcha. That's really exciting. So if you don't know, Tibbers is going to be in the indie horror game Whispering Death as a voice for the main character. So you can look forward to hearing Tibbers' lovely voice as a main character in something. How does that feel, by the way?
Oh, it felt great when because this game's being made by another partner in crime with Mob, and they reached out to me because they heard that I was a voice actor, and they're like, hey, I'm working on this project, would you be interested? And I was like, give me the details. We talked it out, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. With most indie projects that are starting out, a lot of people don't have a lot of money, so they rely on friends or people that can donate some work or donate some time. So with this role that I'm doing, I he was like, I can't pay you much, and I offered to them, was like, hey, let's do it this way. I will do the work for free, but if this game takes off, I would like to revisit with a contract at that point if you bring me back for further work, and then we can discuss also what pay would look like in regards to the numbers as if that game does take off. So there's some stuff we set up, so in the end no one gets hurt, and either way I get a cool opportunity to be in a game and help someone out.
That's awesome. I never got to ask you this, but if you were to take an acting role in a movie as one of the characters, what would it be? What movie, what kind of character would you like to play?
I mean, everybody knows I want to be in the Poppy Playtime movie. I won't fucking shut up about it. I want to be in that damn movie. Like, if it were up to me, I would put myself as the main character. I would love to play the main character of that game or that movie, whatever. I would love to have that opportunity. However, I know that's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Never say that.
But yeah, it's not going to happen. But I would take any other role that they offered. I don't care. I will play any role in that movie. But I don't know, like if something interests me, I would love to do it. I can't think of anything that like has already come out that I'd be like, oh, I really wish I was part of that, because I think that all of those movies were made perfect in their own way. Now, I would say if I could enter the fictional world of the movie, that would be a different story. Like, for example, if the Lost Boys were all real, those vampires.
So, like, if they offered you a chance to be on one of the tapes in either the game or the movie for Poppy Playtime, would you consider it?
Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat. I've already told friends that if they offered it to me, they said, hey, you can be in the movie, but you'd have to pay for your flight and your hotel. I'd be like, okay, I'm down. Let's go. I'll be there. Do you need me there tomorrow? Don't worry. I get unlimited PTO. Let's make this happen. Give me details.
That's awesome. Yeah. I would consider it myself, but I have no acting skills. So it probably won't happen for me, but I believe it can happen for you. Now, is there anything else you'd like to mention about your voice acting career before we go to a short bio and water break?
The only thing I would like to mention is, if anything, there's a lot of voice actors out there. I know a lot of people will come to me be like, hey, how'd you get started? And I'll tell them the same thing that I told you. But I think the big thing for anyone who wants to do voice acting is, one, make sure you have the equipment, make sure you have the setup, and then once you have that, you're a voice actor. Once you say you're a voice actor, you're a voice actor, even if you haven't started anything. The job for voice acting isn't doing the work. The job for voice acting is doing the auditions, because you don't get the job unless you do the auditions. So that's what voice acting is. And through auditions, you learn how to create different characters with different voices. You learn how to control your throat and your pitch and all these other fun things a lot better. I know for me, I have a very, very specific pitch and range. So I can't go too high, because I would love to be able to do Hootie's voice. It is a voice that I would love to be able to do, but his is a, as Alex Hirsch put it, a fucked up Mickey Mouse. And I can't go the high enough to do Mickey Mouse. So unfortunately, we discover what ranges we can do through voice acting, and I know that there's a lot of stuff that I would love to be part of. I know if I had the opportunity to audition to be on Hell of a Boss, oh my god, you have no idea how much I would love to be part of that production. I genuinely would love working with Vivian and their team, but also because I love Brendan Rogers and Richard Horvitz, which is another one of my favorite voice actors. He also was in The Angry Beavers, but he's also like the voice of Zim from Invader Zim. One of my top favorites. Love him, along with Sean Chiplock. I would also love to work for Glitch, and like I would love to do some random voices in the Amazing Digital Circus or any of their new stuff they've got coming out. Like I aspire to do a lot of the stuff that Michael Kovac is doing. Like he's phenomenal. He's got an amazing range, much better than I do. But I would love to at one point be able to be that one person that everyone goes, oh, it's an indie horror animation. Oh, that means Tibbers is in it. Because they do that with Michael Kovac now. They're like, oh, it's indie animation. Oh, Michael Kovac is in it somehow.
Oh, yeah. So, everybody, we are going to take a quick bio and water and stretch break. When we get back, we'll do some audience interaction, read some of the chat that we've missed, and then we'll get back into it. We're going to be talking about Tibbers as a furry and how that and content creation overlap. So I'll see you in a few minutes, Tibbers.
Oh my god. We're in the Matrix! We're matrixing! Suddenly, the next thing we knew, we were in the Amazing Digital Circus. Also, it kind of goes in beat with my music, though. Let's go. Okay, but for real, though. I know that slow turn was perfect. Someone clip that for me, actually. What? I'm trying to speak to it in Morse code.
Yeah? I can't believe that actually fucking worked. I can't believe that actually fucking worked.
Morse code?
Somehow that fucking worked.
I can't even use my grab pack.
I am lost right now.
Oh, it's getting bigger. Roki keeps growing.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Did I get it? Yes! Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I am back. Not sure if Tibbers is back yet.
I'm back. I just heard myself going, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
So real quick, we're just gonna scroll up and read some chat, greet everybody that's in here, and then we'll get into the next segment. First of all, thank you, Flash, for the resub. Thank you for gifting a sub to Baited. Marcus, thank you for the stream streak, and thank you, Flash, for the 100 bits. Thank you, Renegade Kuma, for the follow. Thank you all. Hi, Artie. Hi, Volo. Hi, Faded. Hi, Flash. Ha, Raptor. Bark, 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 bark. And yes, if you're just getting here, we are limiting audience interaction to around breaks and the Q&A section at the end because we're recording for YouTube on both our channels. So that is what's going on. Sorry for any confusion or any inconvenience. Just making sure. Hi, Diffuse. Hi, Pius. Hi, Darius. Hi, Marshy. I thought I just saw Marshy. I did. Good night, Pookie. I do think. Hi, Trespasser. Hi, Comfy Jake. Hi, Wolf Hybrid. All right. I think I might be caught up. Did you see anything in the chat that you wanted to respond to, Tibbers?
You know what? I should have been looking at that. Anyone have any questions that I might have missed?
Hi, Outcast. Hi. Anybody have any questions, but not the big questions, some small questions? There will be a big Q&A section at the end. It's good to see y'all. Thank you for coming to our first episode of the podcast. What do you think so far? Are you having a good time, Tibbers?
I'm having a great time. They probably all think I'm long-winded, though.
Oh, you are perfectly fine. I was worried I didn't ask enough questions, but I certainly did.
You did. I don't see anything calling out to me.
Okay, fair enough. It's awesome. Yay! Loving it. Let's go. It started at 6 p.m. PT, which would be 7 p.m. Mountain Time, my time. So, that's when it started. And yes, the alerts are disabled. I do apologize about that. But we don't want those going off and interrupting our trains of thought, because it's very easy for me to lose mine.
And I didn't take my ADHD meds today.
Medicine. I'm sorry. Take your meds, guys. That's
Who
a
cares
joke.
about medicine?
All right, we're gonna get back into it. We've talked a lot about your content creator side, but now we're gonna talk about your furry side.
Yeah.
I think we know the answer to this, but are you a furry? If so, what kind of persona do you identify most with, and why? If you can recall what got you into the furry fandom.
Okay. Am I a furry? Clearly I am not a furry. I don't know what this avatar is. I am apparently talking to a digital husky right now that's anthropomorphic.
Digital? Who's digital?
I'm going to be at a convention next week with people wearing the mascots. I'm clearly not. I'm a furry, obviously. Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't say that I'm one of the most furries you'll ever meet, but I'm a furry straight up. My main Sona is a werewolf symbiote, anti-hero hybrid, but I've always felt like a deep connection to wolves in general. That said, I've always been drawn to other personas like dragons, foxes, bunnies, and huskies, and minotaurs, and I've been toying with the idea of exploring more as well. My Sona does have a full backstory. Originally human, he bonded with a symbiote that had previously fused with an anthropomorphic wolf. That bond permanently altered his DNA, transforming into a werewolf. He chooses to remain in that form because it feels more authentic and more him, which is just how I feel. A lot of folks recognize me publicly as my alternate Sona, my nightmare critter that you see on the screen right now. Tibbs, he was designed by Vinney, Fanac 18, and then Mob Entertainment took the original design and turned it into this, and I love it. And Vinney was the one who actually made this particular PNG tuber as well, which I really do appreciate. So this version of me also has its own lore, and you can check out that lore on my Twitter or Tumblr or any of my other social media accounts. Just look for the artwork, and it has it posted with it. But as for how I got into the furry fandom, let's just say I stumbled into certain websites way too young. I've always known that I was different and had a strong affinity for anthropomorphic characters. Seeing my first werewolf movie kind of like sealed the deal, but honestly, Digimon was probably the biggest role in turning me into a furry. I watched every season, was obsessed, and was like, yeah, I'm a furry. I stayed closeted about it for years, but it wasn't until I began streaming that I truly embraced it and came out publicly. I didn't like, I wanted to share this one story. My aunt, who was my favorite aunt, who passed away back in like, I think 2006. She has always been like the one that actually has been like my cheerleader and was my encourager and was like, you were so talented. I want to do things to help you be creative. Like, she was the one who bought me a piano. She was the one who would take me to karaoke to go sing. Like, my mom got me into lessons and stuff, but my mom was also a very busy person and was like focused on her own stuff. So like my aunt kind of picked up that encouraging role. But one summer she came to stay, and she was in my room and took my bed, which was not an issue. Let me make that clear. But she had she found some specific artwork that I had printed from the internet underneath my bed. But you know what? My aunt is so cool that instead of being like, oh, look at this, and taking it to my mom, she gets a folder and organizes it for me and puts it under my bed. And it's like, just keep it in there.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had that experience instead of the experience I had with my mom opening my mail and finding a furry commission in there, an adult furry commission. And I pretended like I don't know what this is. I don't know where this came from. What the heck even is this? And that was unfortunate. I had purchased a commission from them and didn't know they were going to send a physical version of it. So very important to communicate with your artists to make sure you know what you're getting. My mom shouldn't have opened my mail, to be fair, but she did, and that was so awkward. So awkward. I'm glad you had a different experience compared to me, though.
Yeah, legitimately, if my aunt were still alive, I know that she would be trying to come with me to FWA and to all these other conventions that I've been to.
Aww.
She was truly a punk rock, listening to Four Non Blondes, What's Up type of free loving individual who also identified as bisexual, so she also knew that, like, when I was young, she kept telling my mom, she's like, he's gonna be gay, he's gay, your son's gay, you need to just accept it now. And she was right. Yeah.
So you would say that she's your number one fan.
She definitely was my number one fan. I here's the thing. I do love my mom, and my mom, I didn't have the best childhood. There was a lot of stuff, but she tried. She did do her best, and she just, I think she knew I was talented, but she kind of favored my brother a little bit more. So I appreciate my aunt for just like being inspirational. But I will say, at least for my mom, even though she wasn't big on like coming to see me perform or anything, she at least cared about music as well, because she also was a singer. So she would help in her own ways. I don't want to like not give her any credit. She just was probably not as supportive as my aunt was.
So singing kind of runs in the family, would you say?
It does, yeah. I can sing. My mom can sing. I can sing better than my mom and my brother. My brother plays guitar. I play piano and a few other different instruments. And a few of my cousins sing. Another one of my aunts sing. Like I would say music definitely runs in the family.
Oh, that's awesome. You mentioned you've always felt a deep connection towards wolves. How young were you when you discovered this connection? Are there any specific qualities that you feel you share with wolves?
Yeah. So my love for wolves actually started with my Mima's dog, Boss. He was a big old German Shepherd, and he absolutely adored me. If I could like say that this dog just followed me around and made sure I wasn't doing anything stupid, that's what he did. Like if I got too close to the edge of the stairs, he'd grab me and pull me back. That's how smart this dog was. Like I absolutely adored this dog, and he adored me. And that honestly is what like sparked my bond and interest in animals. So then we lived on a farm for a while too. So like I was helping take care of cows and horses and other things. And I love animals. And I, after that, just like really started like learning more about animals and learning more about wolves, and discovered werewolves and just got interested in the idea of a pack. But I'm also just like very much a lone wolf type person. People say I give off husky energy sometimes with how chaotic I want to be, but my heart belongs to the wolf. I'm very much a person that sometimes needs to be a lone wolf when I need to be away from people, but I'm also somebody that enjoys a pack mentality too.
You definitely do got that husky vibe sometimes. It's true. You mentioned that seeing your first werewolf movie sealed the deal. What was the name of that movie? You also mentioned that Digimon had a hand in discovering you were a furry. Which Digimon is your favorite?
Ooh. So the first werewolf film I saw was American Werewolf in Paris, which I believe came out in have to Google it. It came out in 1997. So yeah, I remember seeing that, and like I know something clicked in me. I was like, oh, these people are taking an injection and turning into an awesome werewolf. This looks kind of cool. I'm kind of into this. And that just sparked a whole bunch of other different things too. But like, it was a gateway into like so many other different horror and werewolf films, like The Howling and American Werewolf in London. And of course, my favorite definitely was, as far as a werewolf film goes, I do love the werewolves in Van Helsing. That's probably like my favorite, like top tier. They did a really good job on those wolves, because those are what werewolves are to me, in my personal opinion. But as far as like Digimon goes, and I warn everybody this, because when I tell them who my favorite Digimon is and who I see being as my partner, and they kind of just look at me really weird for this answer, but my favorite Digimon is Millenniummon. He is he's a tragic, powerful god of time and space Digimon who is obsessed with his partner Rio, and he constantly has a villain arc, and Rio is also consistently fighting back against his villain arc. There's just a whole lot there, but ultimately what Millenniummon wants the most is his partner Rio, but through his actions he keeps pushing his partner away, but like he actually has a good reason for doing the things that he's doing, but he's doing them for the wrong reasons at the same time, but it's all because he truly does care about his partner. And I think that's why I'm drawn to him for that reason. But my runner up would be Black War Greymon, hands down. I absolutely love that Digimon. Most people will be like, wait, it's not where Garurumon or like, I'm like, no, that's a great Digimon. There's a lot of cool Digimons out there, but I tend to have favorite characters that have emotional stories and really good backstories. Those are the ones that I tend to click with. I go more for, let me learn more about you than what you look like, you know?
My favorite Digimon was always Galmon, the little puppy with the boxing gloves, just because he's cute.
Yeah, Galmon, I know who that is. It's from Digimon Data Squad or Digimon Savers.
I haven't actually seen much of Digimon other than watching the movie in theaters, which is more like an anthology. Digimon, the first movie, was like an anthology of like 3 stories, I think.
Yeah, it was America's way of taking 3 Digimon films and putting them all together in one to make money. Which was such a bad idea because each of those films individually, they're so good. And then we as Americans took them and said, let's try and combine all these plots together.
Just mash them together,
which
yeah.
makes no sense for the story they were trying to tell. But for a Digimon fan who grew up with Digimon, especially the dubbed version, you have a soft spot for it. But if I tell anybody, like, they're like, oh, I should start watching Digimon, I always tell them, you know, Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02 are great, the great 2 beginners to start off with. But I honestly tell people to skip ahead and go to Digimon Tamers because that story is dark, but it also is very real and deals with very real life situations that these kids unfortunately are going through. But it deals with like death. Like in that world, Digimon die. They do die. In other seasons, they don't. This one they do, and there are consequences to their actions, and it's a really good story.
Yeah. Melina was just saying that they released those movies in full recently, or eventually.
They did, and I know about that because if you check my YouTube channel, everybody, I did an interview with Elsie Lovelock, who voiced Mimi in the re-releases. So, really cool.
Feel free to drop that website again so they can do that.
So much work.
I know, right? Sorry, I didn't get a command set up. Otherwise, I would have done that.
Oh, you're good.
I want to get back to Tibbs, the character that you're talking as right now. It's so cool that you have a character designed by the studio that makes Poppy Playtime. If you can share, how did that come about?
So, I touched on it a little bit earlier. I asked, no, I don't know if I asked, but I either asked or Vinney was just nice enough and originally did like a Nightmare Critter PNG tuber for me. And that's what this one is based off of. So we had that, and then as Mob was working on chapter 4, I just got curious and I reached out to 2 concept artists on the team, Amber and Max. And Max is the concept artist who designed Yarnaby and Doughy the Dough Man, like freaking talented. And both of them were like, yeah, we want to turn you into like a legitimate smiling critter, nightmare critter. And I said, sweet. Here's what Vinney made. Surprise me. Like, I was just like, go to town. I didn't give them restrictions or anything. I didn't tell them stick to specific colors. I said, do what you want to do with it, make it your own. And they did, and I love both the designs. Amber did the smiling critter, which if you give me a moment, I will post here in the chat for you. Which is this one. And then Max did the Nightmare Critter, which is the one you see as the PNG tuber, but this is the official design right here. And I loved the Nightmare Critter one so much that it kind of like just became the default at this point. I love the design. I love what Max did with it and turned it into, and I instantly became my favorite. I love the smiling critters, but I don't know. I'm more of like an edgy vibe, even though I'm a super nice person. I do have an edgy vibe, and I kind of feel like this edgy vibe fits with my whole furry emo hot topic theme that I got going on with my life, you know. But yeah, the two concept artists drew it. They wanted I mean, I wanted a character designed, and they offered to work with me. And just so everyone's aware, I did commission them both for this and paid them for it. It wasn't something they just did as a gift. I worked with them on it. It was great, and the results were amazing. And Tibbs means the world to me. And then speaking of, this smiling critter has a different name. We don't call him Tibbs. He's actually just Tibber Wolf.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I actually let Amber pick his name.
Oh, that's so super cool. We're gonna dive into fur cons and travel now, because that's a big thing when you're a furry, is going to see your friends at fur cons.
Yeah.
Do you like to travel? Have you ever been to a furry convention? If so, what is your favorite memory from a furry convention you've been to? What experiences do you have, if any, with any other kinds of conventions? And how would you compare them to a furry con?
So I love traveling, and I have been fortunate enough to attend several furry conventions like MFF and FWA and TFF in Denver, and hopefully more on the horizon. But one of my favorite memories is from MFF. I got to meet my now close friend Amber in person for the first time and introduce her to our mutual friends like Crafty and Roke and Oreo at this past MFF. They kind of surprised me. We had been talking a few weeks beforehand before MFF, and they were going through a tough time. And I was like, hey, I know where you live. It's maybe a 4-hour drive. If you want to make the drive and come to MFF just to get away for a little while and spend some time with some good people and, you know, not think about things, you're more than welcome to come stay with us. You don't have to pay for the hotel or anything. You're good. Like, I just gave them that option, but I never heard anything back from them. And the reason why is because they had already made plans to go and had streamed on Twitch and was doing art. And it was the one stream that I missed where she told everybody, hey, I'm going to this, and we're going to keep it a secret and a surprise from Tibbers. So everybody else fucking knew that Amber was coming to MFF. I didn't. So when she got introduced to me, she introduced herself as her Sona name. And I was like, I don't know who this person is. I was standing there. I'm like, I don't know. Who is this person? And like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, could it be Amber? And I'm like, there's no way this is Amber. Amber would just tell me it's Amber. They had to keep giving me hints, and then finally through the hints, you just see this like realization happen all at once that I realized it was Amber, and I like screamed and freaked out and gave her a big hug, and just like getting to spend time with her, meet her, and introduce her to my friends as well, and see her feel comfortable around us. It meant the world, because I know that Amber was at one point part of the furry community, but there was some stuff that happened there that I'm not going to speak on her stuff, but like there's some stuff that happened there that made her withdraw. So it made me very happy to know that she was comfortable around me, comfortable around my friends, and it really just spawned this beautiful friendship that I'm just so thankful for. But it was wonderful. It made my birthday, and it was extra special. But like another standout meeting moment was like meeting Sean Chiplock at this most recent TFF. I'm still not over it, but like outside of furry cons, I've also attended a lot of leather, queer, and kink events such as North American Bear Weekend, the Texas Bear Roundup, the Cleveland Leather Awareness Weekend, and International Mr. Leather. Fun fact for most people who don't know this about me, before I started content creation, I was a title holder in the leather kink community with 4 titles under my belt. And what that means, like, as a title holder, if you think of drag queens do pageants and win titles. So, like, think of Miss America. That's what I mean by titles. We go up on stage, we have categories, we perform, but it's all about representing your community for a year. So I won 4 of those. I'm technically the 2016 Kentucky Bourbon Bear. I went on to become the International North American Bear Cub in 2017. Then competed and won the title for Ohio Valley Regional Leather Boy, and then went on competed for the international title of Drummer Boy North America. And I am the last reigning Drummer Boy to exist. The organization shut down after that contest, so I am the last drummer boy that will be in existence forever. And then I was a first runner up in the Florida rubber contest. I have a lot of latex and rubber and stuff too. So like a lot of people don't know that side of me, but the people who are close, they do know. So like I've been to those types of conventions, and like they're very similar to furry conventions, but I definitely would say that furry cons have a uniquely wholesome, chaotic, and welcoming energy, like coming home to your people. Whereas going to one of these leather, queer, and kink events, they're a little bit different. There's a different energy and vibe there because everything's more NSFW oriented, and I'm not against NSFW stuff at all. Obviously, being someone who has a kink leather title, etc., I do have my interest. However, I'm not a very sexual person, so I have more fun going to furry cons because I get to remove that equation out of it, because that stresses me out entirely.
Valid. That's really cool though, that you have all these experiences at different types of conventions and events like that. Of the conventions that you mentioned, which one is your favorite and why?
I have to say, and I'm only going to speak of furry convention. Well, no, I'll speak of both. For furry conventions, Furry Week in Atlanta wins for convenience, location, weather, and friend attendance. The public transport access and abundance of food spots make it so easy for that one. But my favorite convention experience was TFF this year, hands down. So many wholesome moments and good vibes. But when it comes to like the leather and kink events, I would say, if you want something that's kind of mild, not too crazy, TBRU is a really, really fun one to go to. But again, TBRU is for bears, and if you are part of the gay or queer community, bears are guys who are bigger size, tend to be hairy and whatnot. So that it's kind of a niche, but it's a really fun and welcoming event. They do a lot of cool things, and they welcome I believe everybody there. North American Bear Weekend is also another favorite one, and they are 100% trans accepting and welcoming, and they also offer titles at that contest for women and trans identifying individuals, so they're not excluding anybody. They're a really good one. It just depends. There's all kinds of them around that you can go to, but it just depends on where you're at in your life and what you like to do and what kind of conventions you want to go to rather.
I would say my favorite convention for me would have to be Foix. It's just a really cool hotel. I don't like the elevator con aspect of it, but like just the sheer amount of friends that go there. The hotel's really cool. Those kinds of things, you know?
And something I did want to mention about my titles, something that I think is really cool about them is that at the, I mean, we can't avoid this. At the end of everything, we all pass away. And when it is my turn, all of these titles that I have, they are embroidered on leather vests. They will actually go hang up in a museum located in Chicago called the Leather Archives. So I will be kind of like immortalized in that museum once I'm gone.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's super cool. Let's see. You mentioned Sean Chiplock. Sean Chiplock is a voice actor that worked on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, Mortal Kombat 11, The Amazing Digital Circus, and more. If you're open to sharing, can you describe how your paths crossed and how you feel about it?
So I've known of Sean for a very long time, and I've just been like, just that wee little weird fan in the background, be like, oh, he's so cool, he does so really cool things, like he's got great voices, great range, and I'm just but yeah, I was really excited when I saw that he got a role in The Amazing Digital Circus playing Kinger. Quickly became one of my favorite characters. His story is so good. And then he took over the role of Dr. White in Poppy Playtime for Chapter 4. And I found that out through, I knew that he was in the cast credits, but Michael was the one who was telling me more about it. Because apparently they can sometimes they're such amazing voice actors that they can sound like one another, and like that's talent, because I don't think I could ever. But I heard that he was at TFF, and I tagged him on Blue Sky, and he messaged me and was like, hey, I would love to meet up. And then he came to the second half of my mascot horror panel that I was doing at TFF and introduced himself afterwards while he was in suit, and like I freaked out and almost cried. And we talked a ton about like voice acting and our creative paths and fandoms, and then he joined us, Kibbles, for dinner the next day, which was phenomenal. I'm glad you got to meet him and we had that experience to share. Like it's probably definitely so far my highlight of this year.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy. Oh, something broke. There we go. It's fixed. It's not a stream unless something breaks. But yeah, he was a really cool guy. It was nice to meet him. Thank you for letting me have that experience as well.
Yeah.
Do you still participate in leather, queer, and kink events? If you no longer participate, why is that?
Not anymore. And there's quite a few reasons that go into that. I've kind of like retired from that scene after years of active involvement in 4 titles. Like I was constantly traveling, doing fundraisers, raising money for the Trans Lifeline and for the Trevor Project and for local charities, Hunters Against Hate. I know that I was raising money for a charity that helped get hearing aids for people that couldn't afford them, because I felt that was something important that needed to happen. I was doing a lot of work, and I I'm glad that I did the work that I did in my community and helped support it in the ways that I could. But I also was like, I need a break, and I'm doing a lot for other people and not enough for myself. So I was like, I'm going to focus on content creation, and that came about during COVID, because that's when I first started. And I didn't have the time to stay involved locally, and with there were some changes with people's thoughts, and with when Trump got elected again, or not again, but for the first time, there were a lot of people in the queer community that took advantage of that to try and push a lot of trans individuals out. And I did what I could to help and stayed strong, but also felt like there are more queer kids out there that are also fighting the fight, who can be out there on the streets and doing the things that need to happen, so our government recognizes that, hey, we're here and you can't really ignore us. And so I kind of like step back and let those people take the limelight and start doing the work that needed to be done, because I that needed to happen. And I am perfectly fine with my decision. I think that not participating still, it was a good thing for me, because there's a lot of aspects of it that sometimes can be uncomfortable, with people not following consent rules and things of that nature. And so I can at least say that my experience going to furry conventions and furry events, I've never once had any of those issues. Whereas when I go to a leather queer kink event, I feel like I need to be on guard and protecting myself at all times, because I've had a lot of bad things happen to me. But yeah, I'm grateful for my time in those communities, and maybe in the future I might visit an event again someday. I know that Roke and I have been talking about it because that's how Roke and I met as well. Most people don't know this, but Roke actually competed at the international Booplack contest, which happens at the same time during International Mr. Leather. So like that's a huge thing. They're really also known very well in the leather, queer, and kink communities. So that's how we've known each other for so long, and that's why we're such close friends.
I didn't know that. I'm learning so much about you and Rookums right now.
Yeah, you're getting the Tibbers lore dump.
I'm getting all the Tibbers lore. So how are we feeling? Do we want to take a short bio stretch water break, or are you good to continue?
I'm good to continue, but up to you. It's your stream. If you need a break, I'm fine with taking a break.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. I just want to check in on you, make sure you're good to go. So now we're going to deep dive back into content creation and how that overlaps with your furry experiences. How did you ultimately get into content creation? What inspired you to do what you do?
I'm noticing as we're going through these questions, I keep speaking about certain subjects that are coming up, and so coming back to content creation, it all started when the pandemic Lovato, aka the pandemic, hit. Um, when we were all locked up, I wasn't able to go to the gym, wasn't able to do anything. I used to be a hardcore gamer back in the day, and then when I was focusing on my career and whatnot, I kind of just stopped playing video games. And as bored as I was like, I need something to do, so I'm gonna start playing games again. And I had previously owned a Nintendo Switch, but I had to sell it because I was moving and I needed the money more than I needed the console. So during that time, during COVID, I actually ended up getting a Switch Lite, was playing Animal Crossing and a bunch of different other games, and then realized that, oh, this is hurting my neck. I don't like looking down constantly. So let me get an actual Switch again. So I got another Switch and was playing games very frequently. And then at the same time, my boyfriends also at the time were big into the leather, queer, and kink communities, and we would, before COVID, go to the bars and stuff together. So, and especially see drag queens, because I'm very much an avid drag supporter. I love RuPaul's Drag Race and the Boulay Brothers Dragula, and I have a lot of drag queen friends, and I love them dearly. And it's an art that we need to continue supporting. So support your queens and your local queens. But during the pandemic, a lot of queens took to Twitch to stream their drag performances to get tips and make money, because that some queens, that's their job. Some queens don't have day jobs, but some do. And then even then, some of those jobs that these queens have, they're not the best jobs. So like when the pandemic Lovato hit, a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of queens lost their jobs, so they went to Twitch and started streaming there. And I was keeping up with my friend Bitch Puddin, who won season 2 of the Boulay Brothers Dragula, and she was hosting Digital Drag and had a lot of RuPaul girls on there and a lot of local girls and a lot of girls internationally. It was just really cool to see all these different drag performances. And I was like, watching Bitch and then seeing her play games outside of doing the digital drag performances, I was like, I could do this. I like entertaining, I like acting. I could easily start streaming on Twitch because I want to get back into playing games. I'm like, let's do this. So I just started feeling aimless, and I started gaming and all that fun stuff, and then was like, I'm gonna do it. So I was watching Roke's boyfriend Tony. I was watching Tony a lot, and Tony was playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, and I started exploring out from Tony and found you, Kibbles, and then I found Diffuse, and then that's once I started getting involved slowly. I got involved a lot in Tony's community, and that's kind of like where I got my start. And then I slowly started breaking out into the furry community, and that's when you kind of started seeing me get more involved in your streams and in Diffuse's streams. And I just was like, I want to start doing this. I want to do it. I'm going to stream. So I just sat down and put a gaming PC on a payment plan on Amazon, set myself up, and just started going. I missed entertaining. I missed gaming with a purpose. And while I might not have the flashiest personality on Twitch sometimes, I like to think I've carved out a space for myself that's real and meaningful. I know that a lot of people will tell you need to be talking nonstop during your streams. Keep it going. If you're not talking, you're just not going to keep viewership. And I'm 100% guilty of being someone that goes quiet quite often. But I'm happy with what I've been doing. I'm happy with what I've accomplished. If I hadn't started streaming, I don't think I would have been able to start getting into voice acting. I don't think I would have gotten back into music the way that I did, because for a while there I had stopped singing and stopped playing the piano and all of that because I just didn't feel like I was talented enough. And a lot of that stemmed from high school when I auditioned for American Idol and got told that I would never be accepted, or not, I was never be marketable because I'm a bigger person and all this other stuff. Like it was a lot of negative stuff that was going on, especially in college too, when the director of the musical theater program told me that, oh, unless I lost weight and changed this about myself, I would never get cast in musical productions and other stuff. And I was like, I really miss doing this stuff, and starting content creation brought all that back out in me, and I'm so thankful for that because I really missed my artistic side.
And if I may say so, you are extremely talented. American Idol and whoever else, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. They're just thinking about their bottom line. They're not really considering your talent. And I think you're exactly who you need to be on this platform. It doesn't matter that you're not the flashiest or the loudest person, and people definitely do look for cozier vibes, quieter streams, so you fill that niche for them.
Yeah.
Work. Is it safe to say that if the pandemic Lovato, as you put it, never happened, you would not be a content creator today?
Yeah, I don't think. Here's the thing. I knew of Twitch before the pandemic. One of my former close friends, I miss them. I really wish we were still friends, but one of my former close friends was streaming on Twitch, and I was watching them, and I remember getting an opportunity to sit like with them at their home while they were streaming and being on stream with them. I thought that was really cool, but I legitimately don't think, if the pandemic didn't happen, I don't think I'd be streaming right now. I think my focuses would be elsewhere still. But as bad as the pandemic was, as bad as many people as we lost, and as scary as it was too, there was good that came out of it, and content creation for me was one of those few things.
Yeah, same here. I probably wouldn't still be streaming. I probably would have given up on it or something if I hadn't had the time to keep going with it. It hasn't always been as easy as it is today to find furry content creators on Twitch. There were fewer teams, and I think at one point there wasn't even a furry tag. How did you go from watching digital drag to being a furry stream regular?
Funnily enough, it was searching the furry tag on Twitch. That's how I found you and Moose. I searched furry. You both had come up on different occasions, and I started watching your streams. But back when I started watching digital drag, I didn't before looking at that tag, I didn't see many furry content creators. There was, at least on some content creation sites, there wasn't a furry tag. And you're right, here on Twitch there was few teams as well. But I started searching, browsing the game categories, filtered by LGBTQIA plus as well, and a lot of furries showed up on that tag, which was helpful, and I think that also got them out there. But that's really how I discovered you and Moose and others, and I've just been part of that space ever since.
And you've made my life a better one being part of it. I hope you know.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Let's see. You mentioned that you may not be the flashiest personality on Twitch. Why do you feel that way? What are some things you'd like to improve upon when it comes to content creation if you had the chance?
Yeah. I've always believed that like the bigger the personality, the easier it is to build an audience. And of course, that seems to also be the consensus on anyone else that's saying, oh, you're not going to grow if you don't just talk. Just talk. If you're not talking nonstop on Twitch, you're just not going to grow. But the general rule seems to be don't let the silence happen unless it's a cutscene. But I'm not like that. I don't constantly talk unless I'm actively engaging with the chat. So sometimes there are longer quiet stretches, and that's something I want to improve. But I think the big thing for me is if I don't have anything to talk about, I go quiet. And if I don't have my chat interacting with me, I don't really, sometimes it's hard for me to figure out what I should be talking about. So that is something I want to improve on. But it is something I do struggle with too.
Mm-hmm. I know that when I'm gaming and there's quiet moments in chat, I feel like I'm pressured to like fill the void, but I don't know what to fill the void with, and
Exactly.
it's tough. And then I start
Very
feeling
tough.
like, oh, am I a failure at this because I don't know how to fill the void there? And no, it's just, it's just a feeling. It just comes and goes.
It's so true.
All right. So we're gonna look at how these experiences overlap for you. How do your furry and content creation experiences overlap? Do you feel like they feed into each other and that you are freer to express yourself as a content creator because you're a furry?
I would say that watching your streams and seeing folks like Moose be unapologetically themselves gave me the courage to finally be like, yeah, I'm a furry, y'all. I leaned more into that part of myself and shifted my content accordingly for that reason. Because I was like, I'm tired of, hiding who I am. Like I used to stream with a webcam, but as people have seen some of the clips, I've since moved to VTubing, partially because of body image stuff, but also because like it just feels right. Like embracing my furry identity gave me the freedom to make content as me, not some version of myself I was forcing. So like it felt very liberating, honestly. It feels like I found my voice embracing the part of myself I'd kept hidden for so long. And because that's the thing, like growing up, we know at Kibbles, people are not nice. Like we really didn't start seeing a lot of LGBTQIA plus acceptance until like the late 2010s. Honestly, like that's when you started to see more people come accepting of furries. And during all that time, I was just too afraid to be like, hey, I'm one of these. And so I just kept it to myself for that reason. But at that point, I was like, I'm going to be turning 30 at one point. I need to stop hiding behind this facade and just let people see, hey, this is me. I'm a weirdo, and I embrace the weirdness now.
If we're weird, what is normal? Because I don't know what that is. I don't know what normal is.
Being normal is overrated anyway.
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring. When you were streaming with a webcam, you mentioned that you felt like that version of yourself was forced. Why do you think that is?
So when I streamed on webcam, I was in better physical shape, and unfortunately, during that time, a lot of my, I wouldn't say it's not unfortunately in a bad way, but like a lot of my viewership came from people who were just like wanting to physically see my body and see me flex or look a certain way, and that started to really feel very performative and uncomfortable. Like I don't like being treated like a piece of meat. I'm a person who has a heart. I have a really big heart and a lot of love to give. So yeah, while I have things that I enjoyed and that I like doing, I didn't like how that kind of portrayed me and how it kind of made me feel like I was like locked in a box of if I don't do this nonstop, I'm not going to grow as a creator on Twitch. So I was finally just like, you know, I need to not do that. Like VTubing and having a PNG tuber, it gave me a way to like reclaim my space and be seen for who I am actually, and not just like how I look. And I know that I'm not in the best shape right now, and that's just because after MFF just had a lot of stuff going on and I haven't really been back in the gym. But I'm going to get back in there. I'm going to start working on that because, you know, self-care also is part of taking care of your physical body as well. I want to be going for quite a few years. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, so I need to make sure that if I'm going to keep doing this, I need to keep myself healthy. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to just immediately go back to webcam streaming again. I only really use my webcam now for recording videos for YouTube when I'm doing unboxing and reviews at this point.
I definitely feel you about the webcam. It feels like a lot more pressure to look a certain way to make sure that you don't have resting bitch face, because I definitely have that, and that doesn't look good when you're streaming and worrying about like what you're wearing, and that it's a lot of pressure. So VTubing has been a relief of that pressure, and I feel like I can be myself without all those external pressures and things from webcamming.
Exactly.
Yeah. You mentioned that watching other streams inspired you to embrace your furry self, and that VTubing gave you the freedom to do so. What are other factors, if any, when it comes to streaming that made you more comfortable with being who you are?
I would say besides VTubing and then the inspiration from other furry creators, I think what helped me feel more comfortable being myself was the overwhelming support I received once I stopped hiding who I was. Like the community I've built and the friends I've made remind me every day that I don't have to filter or water myself down to be accepted. I can just exist, and that's more than enough. So I think that was the big playing card for me, and those factors as well. Like I want to be comfortable and be who I am. I don't want to think about how I'm looking that day and whether or not I'm going to have to stop playing a game to do a reward so someone can see something part of me, physicality, and making sure the space is clean. Like there's a lot that goes into presenting yourself as a content creator, but I would rather present myself as a content creator that was comfortable with themselves than one that was not comfortable.
Absolutely. What have you learned from exploring the furry community and content creation together? Do you have any tips for those that are looking to dive into either?
I've learned a lot, probably too much to cram in like one answer. But if there's one thing I'd tell anyone considering content creation, like just start it. Seriously, just try it. If it clicks with you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too, but you'll never know until you take that first step. And that's the big key. I think that people, if they're interested in it, if they have that itch, they need to go ahead and scratch the itch. If the itch is not what they're wanting, they don't have to do it anymore. But people should definitely, I think if you're questioning it, if you're wanting to do it, you should try it. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it anymore. That doesn't mean you shouldn't not game either. Like you don't have to be a gamer and be a content creator. You can play games because you like to play games. Like that's the thing. I think people seem to think that, oh well, if I'm gonna invest in a PlayStation 5, then maybe I need to start using Discord and get a PC set up and blah blah blah. Like I see a lot of people that start questioning a lot of things about, you know, getting into gaming, and I think that people need to realize that we do the things that we do because we love it. It's not necessarily all about gaming. There's other stuff that we enjoy doing that's also part of content creation. So I think that people need to look at what people are doing and what they enjoy, and maybe that's what their content can be about. Look at Crafty, for example. Crafty is a phenomenal person who plays games but also has crafting streams where they are showing the stuff that they're making, or you can go on their YouTube channel and watch them make a cosplay of a character. Like, it's really cool to see the different types of content that's out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing as everyone else, so that's why people should just try it.
Absolutely. And if you're thinking of like starting a Twitch channel dedicated to gaming, don't be like me where you feel guilty when you play a game and you're not live, because I've been struggling with that recently. Like not playing games offline because I could be streaming it instead. I've been dealing with that, but yeah, just remember you don't have to do everything live. You can have private experiences. Don't like fall for every trend, like trying to grow that way, because then if you're not playing something that you enjoy, you fall into burnout a lot quicker, I would say.
Agreed.
If you had to name just 3 benefits to content creation, what are they for you?
Content creation helps me stay social. There's a lot of times where I am focused on stuff where I've got a lot of people messaging me and I don't respond, and it's because I'm busy. If it weren't for content creation, I would not be a social person. I would be very quiet and keep to myself. But this keeps me being social because I'm having to entertain an audience, but also I'm networking and making new friends and wanting to play games with you all or collaborate with you all or just do something. Like, it keeps me social, and that's a good thing. It also allows me to be my authentic self, and I think that is a good thing for me too, because I'd rather be me than anyone else. But it also gives me a platform to share the things that I love with you all too. Because previously my platform was in the leather, queer, and kink communities, and that's the stuff that my not, I wouldn't say content, but what I was speaking about was on those subjects. Whereas as here, I feel like I can truly share all the things that I love. That's not just part of specific communities. I can be a furry. I can talk about my music. I can play video games that I like or share movies and music that I love with people. Like, it just gives me the platform to introduce people to things that they might not know of or heard of as well.
Definitely feel you there. If you could give only 3 furries who've most influenced you a shout out, who would they be and why?
Okay. This is a good question. And I'm going to be honest with my answer, and I'm going to talk about 3 furries that inspired me in the beginning of it all, not like who's inspiring me currently. So the top 3 that I would give a shout out to, that would be you, Kibbles. It'd be Diffuse Moose, and it would also be Bardic RJ. Bardic is another furry content creator that's over in Europe. They're a very sweet individual, very fun individual, and I took a risk reaching out to them for my first TFF to have them come join me for a panel, and they did, and I learned a lot about them. I learned a lot about a few other creators like Monty Wolf, who joined as well. Met new people and got some really good feedback and some tips from them, and you 3 have been the most inspiring to me and keeping me going too.
You're making me blush now. You can't see it on my VTuber at least, so there you go.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You mentioned that furry panel, that furry content creator panel. Where are you thinking of hosting that next?
So I had done them for a couple of years now, and I had only been taking them to TFF and to FWA. This year, the content creator panel did not get accepted at FWA. I'm not sure if someone else had already submitted for one, but that one did not get accepted. I think at this point, the panel was fun. It was a great idea, and I love being able to talk about content creation and helping people. But getting the resources behind it and all the planning and getting the panelists together and making sure that the people who are selected are going to be great representatives, but also making sure that I'm not pissing someone else off by selecting who I've selected. I've decided to retire that panel. I think if someone else wants to do it, they are more than welcome to. But what I started doing at TFF this year was, instead of doing a panel, just doing a content creator meetup where we can all just get together and hang out and say hi and take a group photo if we want to. Just get all of us Twitch furries or YouTube furries together, and or wherever we're making content at, and just say hi and mix and mingle. I think that is more beneficial for being a social person and being a networking person who is a content creator. While advice is great and helpful, I think that if you are trying to do that as a panel, sometimes it can get a little bit boring, and trying to retain your audience that way sometimes is difficult. So I think a meet and greet works a little bit better. So that's kind of like why I've been testing out this mascot horror panel, to kind of replace that. And I think that with how that went at TFF, it went very well, and I think that's going to be what I really focus on going forward.
Gotcha. I did enjoy your meetup that you hosted at TFF, as well as the mascot horror panel. It was really good to meet up with other Twitch furries there. What would you say your top 3 favorite accomplishments in content creation are, and what is your next goal?
Becoming a voice actor, definitely a huge accomplishment there, because I didn't ever think that was going to happen, and it did. And now I have my own fucking IMDb page, which is really freaking cool.
So cool.
Yeah, just like, oh, you can just go find me on IMDb. That's not something you can just go make a page for. You actually have to be a part of a production to get. So like that was a huge thing for me. But like also being recognized by voice actors like Michael Kovac and Sean Chiplock and Elsie, and musicians I admire like Kyle Allen Music, who has been very kind and very supportive of my music and work. Like knowing that he knows who I am and has listened to my stuff and enjoys it, that means a lot to me. And I think that's been a really big part of it. And making it into the Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 YouTube ad campaign was a really big one for me too. And I'm so happy that you got to experience that this year too.
Oh yeah,
that was so cool for both of us, really.
Oh yeah, I was so excited to see both you in the Chapter 3 one and me in the Chapter 4 one. That was really neat.
Yeah. And then my next goal, land a role in the Poppy Playtime movie.
Yes. I feel like it's
Mic
going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen. Now I'm going to check in with you. Do you need a break for bio break, water, or to stretch? How you feeling?
Yes, I need to run to the restroom real quick and grab some water. So like maybe 2 minutes.
Sounds good. I will see you in a couple minutes.
All right, be right back.
All right, chat, I will be right back as well.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I just really want this hatch. Daddy, please. I just want to live. Ah, it's my man. I've never been more happy in my life. The stress. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
What happened?
I literally headshot, like I slid down, got my aim, damn, just head on.
Oh my god!
That was super fucking sexy.
That was. I do miss that. What are you bozos doing?
No!
Oh, I missed.
Wait, no! Wait, please!
Wait, is that in here? Like, where you go invisible? Is that bug in this one? Like, where you go into the lockers? Off cough, hack. Damn. You mean
I'm just giving you. I thought we just talked about there not being any hackers in this.
Oh. All right, chat. I am back. How are we feeling? What are our thoughts on the podcast so far? This is my first time doing this kind of thing. I want to thank Renegade Kuma, Melina Kazemira, and Blitz the Wolf for the swallows earlier. Thank you. Bark. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying yourselves? Hi, Dozer. Hi, Sahama. Let's see. Hello there, Mantrama. Hi, Mara. Hi, Fievel. If you guys are just getting here, we are doing limited audience interaction during the podcast, except for during breaks and for the Q&A section, just so that we can get through everything uninterrupted. I'm starting to slur and like stutter. Oh no, I'm getting sleepy. Shaman, hello, how are ya? Wow. Tibbers is back.
Womp.
Don't you womp me, mister. I did think I saw something. Fievel said, yay, Tibbers earlier.
Yay.
Let's see. You're loving the podcast. Let's go, Outcast. Thank you. Been going well so far. Glad to hear it, Raptor. We are about to come to the conclusion. We got some quickie questions to go through. And we're going to do a Q&A session. I wanted to find a good set of trivia questions for Poppy Playtime, but they were all like from chapter 1. So unfortunately, the little game segment where we test your knowledge of Poppy Playtime is just not going to happen. I'm sorry, Tibbers.
Aw, dang. I wanted to flex my knowledge.
You can still flex your knowledge. You can still do that. Yeah. You'll find a way. Your vid went oofies for a bit, did it? Try refreshing. So now we're getting into some quick questions here. Can you tell us about your plush toy collection? I've noticed it's been growing since you've been doing unboxing and reviews on YouTube. And do you have a favorite? Do they go to every con with you?
I have a problem when it comes to toys and plushies. I love collectibles, and I'm so concerned that I might become a hoarder from it.
Oh, no.
I'm legitimately one. I have a king size bed, and half of my bed is taken up by plushies. And I have 2 things that hang on 2 different doors that have plushies in them, plus a hammock that's up on my ceiling. Plus, like, they're just everywhere, and I have a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say that my room's one of those rooms where you walk in and think of a hoarder's room. Like, everything's put away and like it's neat and clean. But I am concerned if I don't slow down, then I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them. But yeah, I do love plushes. I do love toys. I am autistic, so like soft things like plushes make me happy and they calm me down. So I tend to keep one around consistently. I've been collecting toys and plushes for like years. It really kicked off when I had a little more spending room. So, because like plushes and toys and collectibles are not cheap. My favorite is definitely the Yarnaby, but I do love the Jumbo Huggy Wuggy, super soft and cuddly and iconic. I do bring a few plushes to cons when I can, but I try not to overpack and risk annoying my roommates that are in the room with me too, because I don't want all the plushies to take up all the space. Unfortunately, this flaw is going to be one of those situations since I'm hosting the mascot horror panel. I'm gonna have a big bag of plushies with me that I'm gonna take with to the panel itself. So like There's going to be a lot there, and they're probably be slightly annoyed with me, but I do have a select few that I tend to always have with me at a con, and that's usually the Huggy and a cat nap or something else that I enjoy. I know that I'm going to be bringing to MomoCon some different plushes. Like I brought the giant king plush to TFF because that was easier to transport since it was a local drive. But he's going to be coming with me to MomoCon because I've got a owl house outfit planned with that plush. So he's coming. The Hootie might come too. Both of those are massive plushes. But yeah, I like traveling with plushes. I know that when I went to Denver the first time, I bought that massive wolf that they had and was nervous about getting it home because it had to fly with me, but it couldn't go in my luggage. So I made sure everything fit into my checked stuff and used it to be my carry-on was the giant wolf. And I was like, I don't know if they're going to yell at me for putting this up in the compartment because it had to go up there. And I know there were some people annoyed who opened it and saw that it was taken up by a giant plush. And, you know, I kind of felt a little bit bad about that, but also didn't feel bad because I was also flying first class. So like that was reserved for me anyway. So yeah, there's some I have to keep an eye on it. I'm trying to do a little bit better about that. I know that I will continue to purchase a lot of Poppy merch because I love Poppy, and I'm going to be reviewing that. And of course, if there are other plushes from other IPs and stuff that come out that I enjoy, I will purchase those as well. But I'm going to try and limit myself at this point because I'm starting to collect quite a few too quickly. I don't want to be one of those situations where I have to like get like a storage unit, or when I'm looking at renting an apartment, I have to have a 2-bedroom in order to store them. Like those are things that I'm trying to keep in the back of my mind, so I'm not overdoing it. But I know right now I'm okay with what I have. I just need to figure out a better storage solution because my other problem is that I like having them on display.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. You got to show them off.
Exactly. Even though I have no one over ever.
I think the answer to this question may surprise everybody listening right now. What is your favorite game?
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Me double checking.
I'm kidding. It's Poppy Playtime. But it was a funny answer at least.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is The Birdcage, which if you have not seen it, it is a older movie starring Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, who play a gay couple who own a drag club, and they live above the drag club. And Robin Williams' character has a son, and said son just got out of college and proposed to a girl who is the daughter of a Republican senator who is 100% against queer people. So like it is a very funny movie with a really good touching story of acceptance and love and family, and it's one of my favorites. And when I'm feeling down, it's one of the few that I'll put on and watch just to cheer me up, because I can't ever not laugh at Robin Williams or Nathan Lane being the perfect gay couple together. Like they were made for those roles, and I'm just, and they make me happy. That movie makes me happy. It's such a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I have never seen it. Someday I'll have to see it.
We're gonna have to fix that because I need to be part of your first watch through.
We'll figure something out. Yeah. My favorite movie right now is Smile 2, which you love music and you love horror. I wonder if you've seen it yet and what your thoughts are.
I haven't seen it fully. I have seen parts of it. I need to sit down and finish watching it. But what I have, I do enjoy it. I mean, for the pop star aspect, I'm like, this is pretty fucking brilliant. Like
It's definitely right up your alley. Yeah,
it absolutely is.
Such a good horror film. I am excited for you to see the whole thing. What is your favorite song if you had to pick just one?
I think everyone probably knows this answer if they watch my streams, but my favorite song out of any songs, like I know we talked about quite a few different songs in this podcast so far, but like my favorite song all time, that is my number one that I will listen to over and over again, no matter what, is Mary on a Cross by Ghost. That song is beautifully written. Has, you know, I discovered it through TikTok. It just became a very popular song to a Stranger Things edit. And I remember when I had been trying to figure out for weeks how it ended up in my Spotify playlist and my likes, and I could not remember. And it was Okami who reminded me, hey, you actually found this through TikTok. And I played it on stream a couple times, and I just listened to the lyrics and I listened to the music itself, and it is a beautifully written song. I know that a lot of people have a lot of issues with it because it technically, if you're a religious person, like that's where the problems come into play. But the thing is that the song itself is a love song. It's a love song to a specific individual, lady friend of the songwriter, and it also is a love song to marijuana. So
I didn't know
I
that.
think that's great. Yeah. So people look at it's all about how you interpret lyrics. There's a line in this song that says, I will tickle you internally, and you know, there's a lot of kind of sexual innuendo with this song as well. Like you go down just like Holy Mary, and you know, there were claims about Mary and whatnot, but it's all about, it was written mostly about marijuana. The tickle you internally is about how marijuana smoke can tickle your throat and make you cough.
Oh, got you. That makes a lot of sense. I was thinking something else with that line.
Oh yeah, it means that too at the same time. But like it's got two different stories, and they're really good. And I think if people can, you know, realize that they're not trying to disparage a religious individual or anything like that. Like they might be a band that labels themselves as satanic, but they're not really like like Satan worshiping individuals. That's just like the front they put on. I mean, the lead singer Tobias has already said like he's not a religious person, so he does not care. But if you remove that aspect and just listen to the song and just vibe with it, you'll get an emotional response out of it, because it's a beautifully written love song that has a bunch of double entendre meanings, and it's so good. It's so good. At the ending of that song is my favorite. The layering of the harmonies, that's how you know a music person is getting very excited about a song, when you can just hear those moments and they just make you weep because they're so beautifully done, and they just excite you, and you can't even put in the correct words of how well they did those parts. But like that song is so good, and if you haven't heard it, just go give it a listen.
If you want to know if you've solidified your spot as an influencer, that song is now on my Spotify because of your raid alert. Or is it your follow alert? Which one is it?
It is changed to my subscriber alert. So if you subscribe,
gotcha.
that's what plays.
Yeah. You are now solidified as an influencer.
Yes.
Also, we've come full circle where like TikTok content creation helped you discover your favorite song. Look at that.
Yeah, it really did.
What is the video game you are most excited about coming out in the near future?
I am really excited for Chapter 2 of Indigo Park. I think the whole team that Unique Geese has put together working on this chapter, it's going to be really good. I have been trying to snoop for secrets and things from people, but they have been very tight-lipped on not telling me anything. But the things that I have heard is that they are popping off. I was really excited during the mascot horror panel. We actually had someone in the audience who was a developer for Indigo Park that was there. They are someone who stays off of social media. They're not on Twitter or anything like that. So they were like, if you want to reference me, you just tell Geese this is who you met, and she took a picture with me as well and was like, please don't post this on socials or anything. But they were great. Their name was Emily. They were super lovely, and she was also telling me all the cool stuff like that she's excited for this chapter, and I'm really looking forward to it. And in a few weeks, I'll be seeing or getting to meet Mason, who is Unique East in person. So I'm hoping that maybe I might get a sneak peek then at something, but probably not. We'll see. But I'm really looking forward to that game because I think it's got something special about it, and I think that what notes that they have taken in the direction that they're probably going to go, it's probably going to be very different than the first game because it's going to need to try and retain its player base. So I'm really hopeful for what's coming.
Me too. I'm very excited to see where that game goes next. Bark, 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 bark. Speaking of what's next, which conventions are you going to next?
So you can catch me next week at Furry Week in Atlanta. I'll be there starting Wednesday in the afternoon, and I'll be flying back the following Tuesday. And then I'll be home for how many days? Okay, my calendar updated now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I'm home for 8 days before then I fly back out to Atlanta to go to MomoCon. I'm going with a few developers from Mob Entertainment, and I'm really excited to see some people there. Jane's going to be there. I'm really excited. They were already like, hey, you have a room in the host hotel. I'm going to, if I can, come use your room to change out of my suit and stuff because they're going to bring the fursuit and whatnot. So that's really cool.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, and then I got Denver in August, and that's all I have planned for this year. There's a chance I might add another con in. I don't know, but that's it for this year. And next year will be a few of the same cons again. You'll see me at TFF and FWA, Flaw, and probably again at MomoCon. We'll see if this time goes great. I might come back. If not, I might try a different one. But I've been wanting to add some different furry cons in there too that I haven't been to yet. Like I'd like to go to BLFC. I'd like to do A&E at some point in AC, just so I can say I've at least done them. But of course, those all go into plans of I need to plan those with people because cons are expensive, and I'm one of those people that having a single room is great, but I prefer having as 3 other people in there with me to help split the cost 4 ways.
It's so yeah, absolutely. I feel you there. Compy Jake says you don't have enough plushies. Get more.
I have plenty of plushies, Jake. Jake is my roommate, by the way. But he's on the other side of this wall, probably listening to me talk.
By the way, Shy Hub, thank you for all those subs. You didn't have to do that. Real quick, I just want to mention that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to mention or discuss?
I like chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Eggs are good. I'm just joking. I would say we've talked about a lot of stuff here. You got to see some behind the scenes of my life and learn a little bit more about me and the things that I like and things that I enjoy. And you probably got to learn more about things about me that you didn't know, such as being part of the leather, queer, and kink communities. I have, really kind of turned my content away from a lot of NSFW 18 and up stuff. I keep my Twitch set to 18 and up, but becoming a partner with Mob and making content on YouTube has opened me up to a whole new audience and a younger generation who have been watching my content now. So things have really changed for me, and I'm having to adjust to that as well. Because being somebody who is, I'm not someone who shies away from cussing or swearing because I love those words. They're fun. The good ones, not the bad ones. We don't like the bad ones. But that's been fun. But I think that like you all are starting to see a different version of me that's starting to emerge. That's someone who is kind of just like they know what they want, they know what they're going for, and I really want to be a successful content creator. I want to be somebody that hits 100K subscribers and gets a cool plaque for it. I would love to be a content creator that you see goes to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie sets and gets to meet the animatronics. I want to be that person doing that stuff. I also, not just that, I've been recently just like really, wanting to move over to doing this stuff full time. And as I said, having to need a full-time job in order to do this, it sucks because it takes away from the time that you could be making and creating and all this other good stuff. But it's something that you need to really think about, and it's something that I've been thinking about too. I kind of want to shift directions with my career, and I really want to get into game development. I really would love to work for a game studio or making my own games. Like I'm not someone who can learn coding very well, and I'm not an artist, but I have stories and I have ideas, and I'm a good writer, and I can do music, I can do sound design, I can do video editing, I can do acting. Like I have a lot of different skill sets that I think I could bring to the table of a game studio or doing my own stuff. So those are things that I keep on the plate and keep on the table, and things that I'm thinking about consistently. I think the big thing that I want people to take home from this is that while I am a character sometimes, and I've got an audience that now spans different ages, I'm still the same kind person that I am. I enjoy chaos, but I'm never that person that pushes people away. I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. I'm not one, like, I 100% like enjoy having boundaries. I think boundaries are good, but I'm not one of those creators that will, if I hear someone scream my name, I'm going to say hi to you. I'm going to offer a hug, and I'm going to offer a picture. I'm never going to push people away because I'm a very humble person, and I take that very seriously. I think like everybody else in this world, I just want to be loved, and I want to be seen for all the cool things that I love, and sharing that with other people, and just being a creative person. And when I hear that someone likes things that I do, it makes me very happy. I'm not great at taking compliments, but I love them.
Well said, Tibbers. We have come to the Q&A section, and we do have a couple questions to start you off. So if you have any questions in the chat, please post them now. Let's see. Raptor said something. Raptor was asking if you've got a Gummy Goo plush somewhere in your room.
I do not have a Gummy Goo plush. I actually don't have any Amazing Digital Circus plushes, and I need to fix that because I would love a Gummy Goo one, and I really want a Kinger one. So those are on my list. They just haven't been a priority right now.
Mm-hmm. I haven't even watched that show yet. I need to.
Oh, it's so good. It's gonna make you cry.
Comfy Jake asks you, what keeps the creative spark going?
For me, what keeps my creative spark going, I get creative. My creative spark kind of ebbs and flows based on other people's creative sparks. So like seeing what other people are making helps inspire me. Seeing other different IPs help inspire my creative spark. Listening to music helps create sparks. Just sometimes even meditating really helps my creative spark too. I'm definitely someone who is 420 friendly, and will use that to help my creative spark too. That has actually helped me write music and come up with some really cool stuff that I didn't think I'd be able to do before. But yeah, I think that's what really keeps my creative spark going. It's always the what's new, what's coming out, and what do I want to share that I'm enjoying right now.
It looks like Shy Hoop is down with 420 inspiration.
Let's go.
What other questions do you guys have before we let Tibbers go? Well, I mean, we got to have Tibbers plug, of course, But what other questions might you have? Is it Tibbers with a Z, or either? I can answer that. The only reason that it's not just Tibbers with an S at the end is because there's somebody else that has that name, right?
Yep. That's my own fault for deciding to continue with a name that is for a licensed character.
I imagine if Tibbers gets Twitch partner, he will put in to take that name if he's able to.
I absolutely. I mean, I won't lie. That's definitely one of the main reasons why I do want partner. Is I would actually love to have the name Tibbers on Twitch, and the only way I'll get that is to get partner, because the account that has the name Tibbers is inactive and has been for years, and they won't release it unless you're a partner. So
Yeah. It's the same story for me, where just Kibbles is taken by somebody that doesn't stream or watch the streams. So like, I gotta get partner to get that name. So I'm in the same boat. Raptor asks, why did you name yourself Tibbers?
So I technically didn't name myself. Roke is the one that named me. So speaking of the leather, queer, and kink communities, my previous Twitch name when I first started used to be Pup Tibbers, because I'm technically part of the pup community as well. So Tibbers was my pup name, and Roke named me Tibbers because I used to play League of Legends nonstop back in the day, and I loved Tibbers, and Roke was just like, you are a teddy bear when in all times, except for when someone comes for you or your family or the people that you care about, then you turn into a giant ferocious demon bear. Like, you are a force to be reckoned with. And Roke came up with it, and I said that's perfect, and I just stuck with it. It kind of feels right too, because I also, like, part of me has like this childlike innocence to them, and so having a name like Tibbers, it kind of feels like it emulates that too, because it's kind of silly at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Comfy Jake asks, it's raining, so what movie do you put on to pass the time?
It's raining. What movie do I put on? I'm gonna assume that the internet is out, and watching Netflix or anything like that is not an option. So what I would do is probably pull out my copy of Steel Magnolias and put that on, more than likely. That's another one of my comfort films. That's sad, but also a really fucking funny movie. Oh my god. They all of those ladies in that film, Dolly Parton, Sally Fields, y'all crack me up. I quote that movie daily.
That's another one I don't think I've seen.
Oh, we gotta fix that too.
By the way, Anonymous, thank you for all those subs and for starting a hype train. Really appreciate you. You don't have to do all that.
Wow, Outcast, you can bully me, but you can't ask a question?
Yeah. Didn't you just draw Tibbers smacking mommy long legs with a newspaper to frame Tibbers?
Yeah. Fake news.
Raptor Primal asks, which was your first horror game you ever played, Tibbers?
Ooh, first horror game I ever played? I kind of want to count Tomb Raider because there are horror elements to it, but I'm not. I'm actually going to say Silent Hill. Silent Hill was the first actual legit horror game I played.
I think mine was Resident Evil 2. Look at that hype chest. Oh my gosh. Sorry, got distracted. Might as well draw something for you someday, Tibbers, says Raptor. They want to draw something for you. Comfy Jake asks, what horror creature do you empathize with most?
I'm a monster fucker, so any monsters. any
That's
monsters
not where
that
I thought you would go with it.
Like any monsters that are like I can fix him. Yeah, I mean, people were like Beauty and the Beast, Stockholm Syndrome, and I'm like, okay, I'll take Stockholm Syndrome. Come on, Beast, let's go.
See, I thought you were gonna mention Dowie because Dowie is really tragic character.
Nah, I like to think of characters that are that could be potentially be romantic partners almost.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't think of it from like the not safe from work perspective. I'm actually more the emotional. I just want to say I love you type of person. So like that's what my mind goes to. I like the romance.
Mm-hmm. Comfy Jake says, empathize, not sodomize.
Not that.
Raptor asks, would you take Poppy or a Big Purple Sleep Gas Cat home?
Big Purple Sleep Gas Cat. 2 reasons. One, Catnap's got a very tragic story, so I really love them. They have a special place in my heart. And I have said it multiple times on stream. I want to know what the effects of the red smoke would feel like and be like. So 100% would try it for that reason, but also it seems to be a really great sleep aid. So going to sleep would be great for that reason. Like I would actually get 8 hours probably every day.
As a nightmare critter, Tibbs is not afraid of nightmares.
I'm not afraid of nightmares. They happen. I mean, everyone gets them. Everyone gets certain types of dreams. Sometimes those dreams are sad and you wake up crying. Sometimes you wake up laughing in the middle of the night because something was happy or funny in your dreams. But like, it just depends. It just depends.
Comfy Jake asks, if you were in Dungeons and Dragons, what do you think your class would be? I would say Bard for you.
Bard, so like someone that carries a lute around.
Well, no, bards can also be rockers. They can be modernized, you know.
I don't know what class I would end up being. Hacking and slashing with swords are fun. Doing magic's fun. Telling songs and stories is fun. I don't know. It just, I guess I've always been that person that's kind of just been like flexible into any type of role. So honestly, I'd probably want a role that I could flex into, that I could be multiple things. Like if I don't want to just necessarily lock into one thing.
Mm-hmm. What if punk rocker battle bard?
Punk rocker battle bard. I could see it. That would be fun.
I kind of want to see somebody draw you with a lute now, though.
No. No one wants that. No one wants to see me dressed up in Elizabethan clothes with a lute walking around like a nerd.
Comfy Jake says bard so he can seduce the monster.
Wow.
Any other questions, y'all? Now's your time. Now's your time. You've been waiting for a couple hours now to ask Tibbers anything.
Yeah. Ask me things. Otherwise, Kibbles is going to kick me out.
Comfy Jake says they are a menace on the other side of your wall.
They are.
Let's see. I'm going to adjust our final question after we verify there's no more Q&A. Raptor says, has there been a time where you felt you streamed too late because you're old?
No, I'm a night owl. Honestly, if I could work third shift, I would. I prefer being up night hours than I do during the day, honestly. Yeah.
Both of you are amazing and love you both, says Bolanos. And Faded follows it up with a heart. Much love to both of you. And know you.
Yeah.
Know you. Comfy Jake asks, controller or keyboard and why?
Keyboard and mouse. I prefer keyboard and mouse. I find I have better control over things if I play with keyboard and mouse. And also controllers, for some reason, they just make my hands really sweaty. So getting a good grip and maintaining it while playing a game the entire time is kind of difficult for me. So I prefer keyboard and mouse for that reason. I actually don't have that issue with keyboard and mouse with like my hands getting sweaty or anything.
The sweaty paws, says Comfy Jake. Controllers hurt my hands because I have big hands and they're really small. So like, also I like the mouse sensitivity and stuff for like certain types of games as well.
Yeah, I just find like games like Fortnite just play better in my opinion on mouse and keyboard. Other people prefer it on controller, but I tried it, I can't do it. Same with Dead by Daylight. I tried it on controller, could not do it.
Outcast Shadow asks, any Poppy Playtime fan or official artists you'd recommend? Been wanting to look into some more.
Ooh, that's a good question. Definitely would recommend Outcast here. They're a phenomenal artist. They make a lot of really cool doughy art. Amber, another really good close friend, obviously, but also a developer on the game. They have phenomenal fan art as well. There's Eclipse, who is a younger creator. I think they're 16, but they have such amazing art skills. I'm blown away by some of the stuff that they've created as well. There's a lot of different artists. I'd probably say if you want to see some of my favorites, go look at there are two interviews I have on YouTube, one with Baldwin Williams Jr. and the other with Michael Kovac. There's some artists that I have linked in those descriptions of those videos, and those are the ones I tend to follow. But I tend to find a lot. I'll say this much: I tend to find a lot more artists and really good poppy fan art on Tumblr more than I do any other social media. So if you're looking for some like really good fan art, go check out Tumblr.
All right, we're gonna make these the last two Q&A questions. So you managed to get a decent PC, or do you have a high working gaming PC? They're asking about your PC setup.
Yeah. So I have a gaming PC. I have a dual PC setup. I have one PC that's dedicated as my gaming PC, and I have a separate PC that's my streaming and like I'm gonna call it my media center PC, where I do all of my music and editing and filming and recording and streaming and all that fun stuff. It also is like my general use computer too. That one is brand new. I just got it in this week. It's technically a gaming computer that I built through Cyber PC. It's completely custom. But yeah, it's specifically for editing and all that fun stuff. The reason why I could call it a gaming PC is I didn't want an editing case. I wanted a gaming case because I like the gaming cases more. I like being able to see inside of it. So that's why I classify it as a gaming computer. But no, it's designed to specifically be used for editing and whatnot. And that's why I've got I think I have a Ryzen 9 9950X processor, which is a 16 core processor. So that's phenomenal for my music editing. 64 gigs of RAM, which is great for all my VSTs that I use for music. And then the graphics card is the 4060 Ti, which is 16 gigs of VRAM, which is great for 4K exporting in Adobe Premiere Pro. So the parts were all picked for those specific reasons. But I will say that I do plan installing Steam on here at some point, so I can check to see how the graphics card handles the poppy games as well.
Gotcha. Comfy Jake asks, what is your favorite non-gaming streaming activity? Non-gaming, non-streaming.
Theme parks. I love going to theme parks. If I'm wanting to get out of the house and I'm wanting to like do stuff that's not gaming, streaming, I want to go to a theme park. I absolutely love going to Disney and Universal or Six Flags. It's the crazy thing. I don't like thrill rides. I'm not big on like huge roller coasters, but like the rides at Disney and I can do with no issues. But yeah, I love theme parks. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Get out of the house. Good luck, says Comfy Jake.
Yeah, I never leave.
All right, now's your time for revenge. You can ask me any 2 questions to get revenge on me for all the questions I asked you.
Me or your chat?
You, Tibbers.
Oh,
you.
Jesus, you put me on the spot now. Okay. What is I'm going to ask a poppy question and I'm going to ask a non-poppy question. What is the main thing that you like about poppy playtime?
I like the idea. To me, anytime you mix like a children's toy or children with horror, you get really creepy, atmospheric horror elements out of it. And it's really effective. in puppy playtime specifically. I like the idea of them turning children into monster toys and using them for their own nefarious purposes. And I think that's a really gripping kind of story.
Okay. Second question. What do you find to truly be the hardest thing about streaming on Twitch?
The hardest thing about streaming on Twitch is, I would say that it would have to be the time sync that is required, because that can be harmful to your offline relationships, like with your partner or your friends. It can get in the way of some things. So like not being able to like not being as stern with myself to have that offline time, that's the hardest thing I would say that comes with streaming.
Okay.
Yeah. You got your revenge.
I got my revenge.
So we're down to the last 2 questions here. And then we're wrapping up. If there were anything you'd like for the audience to take to heart by the end of this episode, what would it be?
At the end of the day, I'm just a small guy making dumb stuff on the internet. Nothing special. If I can do this, so can you. So don't think that just because someone's popular doesn't mean that you can't also be popular.
I would add on to that, don't like compare your success to somebody else's. Like just take your wins where you get them.
That part.
So Tibbers, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Where can we find your content? What's your streaming schedule? And do you have any big streaming events in the future? This is your time to plug yourself.
You can find me and my content all over the internet, and the best hub to find it all is through my website. I have every social media website linked through my website, so you can't not find me there, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna put that in the chat again for you real quick, because kind of important to have it. There you go. And then as far as streaming goes, I stream currently Monday through Wednesday on Twitch starting at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and on Saturdays on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursdays will be added back probably sometime in the fall after August. So probably right after Denver. But as far as big events, I will be at FWA, and I'll be heading to MomoCon with Mob Entertainment and a few of the devs after that. And then you can catch me at Denver with the Kibbles in August. And as far as the rest of the year goes, nothing is planned or set in stone just yet. But of course, keep an eye out on my social media for more news. I like to try and do a charity event sometime during the fall months. And then that's usually like my big streaming event of the year, besides doing like, the anniversary of streaming and whatnot. Like those are the other big events, like birthdays and whatnot. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. That's
Gotcha. Do you have any Pride Month plans?
Oh, I haven't even thinking about Pride Month. I think if I'm correct, I think I'm moving during that month. I don't know. The thing is with Pride here in Austin, Texas, is that the main Pride Festival actually takes place in August, and it's also downtown, and you have to pay for parking and you have to pay to get in, and it's just a lot of stuff I don't want to deal with. So if I end up doing anything for Pride Month, I'll probably be going to another smaller Pride festival to walk around for a little bit and come back home. I mostly reserve my used to be my Pride celebrations would be in at Disney for their what they call it, One Magical Weekend, which is a big queer event where all these LGBTQIA individuals will get together, and there's multiple events going on at different resorts, and everyone has planned days at Disney and Universal, and there's pool parties, and there's Red Shirt Day at Disney where we all wear red shirts and remember all those we have lost to HIV and AIDS. Like, those are the things that I used to do, but currently I live in Texas, not in Florida anymore, so kind of hard to do that right now, but maybe in the future.
Gotcha. Well, I would like to thank you for being my first guest on this podcast. It was awesome to get to chat with you in depth and get to shine a spotlight on you because you're amazing.
Oh, thank you, Kibbles. Thank you for asking me to do this. I really do appreciate it. And as soon as you asked, I was like, absolutely, let's do it. And you know, as we talked about at TFF, anyone can do an interview. So like anyone listening out there, if Kibbles can do an interview, if I can make content on Twitch and YouTube, if you can tie your shoes, you can do this too. So don't not let yourself experience this opportunity if it's something you want to try.
Absolutely.
I'm rolling around as a ball. I'm cute. Oh my god.
Oh my god! We're in the Matrix! Oh, not this again! Why? Did I get it? Yes!
Oh, it's getting bigger. Roki keeps growing. Woo!
Jesus Christ, why?
He has no way, Tibbers.
I love Noed. Let's go. I forgot. What's Noed do again?
Fuck off, Freddy! Oh my god! Ah!